Okay, our next guest is Will Arnett, and unfortunately, I'm not on this podcast, so it'll probably be one of the better ones. I do miss interrupting guests and David as much as I possibly can, so I do miss that. But I don't really have an excuse other than I forgot.
That's a good old Steve Martin. Remember? I forgot armed robbery was illegal.
Here's the reality, though, in 20 seconds. The week before, someone, I won't name names, said, you'll do it on Wednesday. So I thought it was on Wednesday. And I had it in my head Wednesday. So normally with these things, I just forget Tuesday. I went to get a Presto log at the store. And I left my phone in the car. And I was just watching Lost, the TV show. And I didn't hear any phone call. And I was like, hey, it's Tuesday. I'm relaxing because tomorrow, Wednesday, is Will Arnett. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Will was on the Riverside Zoom, whatever it is, with David waiting for me. And I just want to apologize to Will Arnett. And the hardest thing to do is to apologize to my partner, David Phineas Spade. My first public apology to my partner in podcast crime. David? From your point of view, what happened?
Well, what happened? First of all, I like the slice of Dana's life. I wake up, I go in the backyard and put M80 firecrackers in a bullfrog's mouth. And then I bought a Presto log, and then I lit my phone on fire in the fireplace instead of the log, and that took forever.
Well, I thought a little flavor.
I like it. So anyway, we started it, and Dana, to his
chagrin,
I don't know. He's always on time and always early and always prepared. And so I got nervous because I was the only one on the Zoom, and then Will popped on. And after a while, I said, Dana must think it's at 5:30, so let's just start. And then he'll jump on. And then, of course, he's getting annoyed with just me because he wants to talk to Dana. And then he goes, so, what's the deal with Dana? Is he jumping on? And I go, oh, yeah, I don't know. He should be on soon. And then I'm like, anyway, me. And then we laughed and kicked and scratched and tickled. And then it had been the whole time, an hour. So I said, I don't know what happened. And then he said, all right, well, if you want to just do this one or we can do it again. So I said, it was pretty funny. We'll just do it.
Here's two thoughts. One thought is, I think I'm about 108 podcasts. I was there on time and then one loss. So that's pretty good for an NFL team over 6 seasons. Secondly, I really would have loved to have talked to Will Arnett, but
I know, he was
you
fun.
And he are pretty good friends. You did Snake Oil, the game show with him. So I knew for this particular one, I might have actually gotten in the way. So I'm sure it's a very entertaining. So right now I am the audience. So I'm going to listen to what this podcast is like.
This will be good because then you can take notes and say, where were we on? Where were we off? What can we change? Now you objectively.
Well, my casual nickname in terms of the podcast is Loudmouth. And so I try not to be that. So I'm sure it's great. I would listen to it if I were driving somewhere right now.
Mine is Gestus Interruptus.
Well, that's just, that's a genetic brain chemistry thing you have. Like if someone's on a roll, you've got to pounce on it.
I got to kill it. I got to kill it. I got to stop it in its
and run
fucking
with
tracks. So here's Will Arnett. And we did laugh a lot. I mean, we were a little bummed because there's no Dana, but we were just sort of bullshitting. And that's the best stuff. That's what it all is anyway.
You know what? In the end of the day, it really is.
Mm-hmm.
We should just call our show bullshit.
Bullshit.
Bullshit plus.
Bullshit plus. We charge more.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody. And here's Will. And I think you'll laugh and dog ear the parts that you think are funny and let us know. Thank you. Oh my God, it's actually happening.
My computer, I had to reboot my... Nothing makes me sound older than... I had to reboot my computer.
Dude, you know what you do? You go to www.
Hang on.
Wi-Fi-help.
Okay, start. Okay, hang on. I'm going to write this down. W.
Are you still doing Smartless? Did that get canceled?
It's so good.
I like to start off on like a fake burn that doesn't make sense. No, I'm just hearing some grumblings on the streets. I don't know.
I don't know if any of that was true. Did you guys?
No, I'm just checking. I was
Did
like,
they
there's
make you
no
give all the
way.
money back?
Where's the truck that dropped the money off? Is that still there or did they leave?
Yeah, apparently now they said we had to reload it from our side.
Shut the fuck up. Now I'm getting mad. Does it make the beep sound when it pulls it and puts the money in your driveway?
No, of course. You want to know? You want to know something funny? And I should save this for the pod.
It's already on. This is it.
Is this it?
Yeah. This is the high energy pod.
This is I live right next to one of the world's richest men. Like he lives like sort of kind of 2 properties down, but also kind of like there's this back road anyway. And he's got fucking trucks and cars going in and out of there all motherfucking day. And when I say trucks and cars, I don't mean like 5 or 6. I mean 100, 200 a day. And
What's
he's using this
happening
other. And I think he's getting married is one of the things that I heard, a scuttlebutt I heard from a worker dude on the street.
To a car.
And
all his car friends are coming.
He's getting married. It's so fucking weird. No, they're all work trucks. And the beeping, and it's like, most neighborhoods, it's like LA County, you can work 6 days a week. They can work Saturdays. Beverly Hills, it's Monday to Friday, no weekends, and it's like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., whatever. This dude's got trucks 24/7. Fucking Sundays, Martin Luther King Day. These motherfuckers are beep, beep, beep,
blasphemous.
Beep. It's fuck.
Dude, I've seen
like
shit. F-150s with beeps on them. I'm like, you're not adding that to a regular fucking truck on top of all. I was in a parking lot. This guy's like, beep, beep. I look, it's like some crummy truck. I go, no chance, dude. You don't get that. And this sounds rich, but I live in a mansion. That's all. No, sure. I live. That was the whole story. 55 windows, 6 pantries. So I have some dirt road or some little road by me. I didn't know when I moved in that they were going to be working on this guy's house for the rest of my life. And I don't know where they're even driving. So they're just driving up a road, and then there's a cement truck, and there's a truck with a bunch of logs from that movie where things fall on people and they all die. What's that movie called?
Sure.
You know the one I'm talking about. Final Destination. So every day I drive up my street, it's Final Destination. I'm following a log truck, and then I'm following a bunch of boulders on one. I go, why is it always noisy? And it's always trucks that need to make an 80-point turn, and then they go up there, and I don't even know what they're building. And it's never ending. And I hate their guts.
It's so fucking crazy. And this guy, here's the other part. Here's what's maddening. So yesterday, they're built, and it's the weekend and shit, holiday weekend. They're beep trucks, and there's like a back road behind my house into this guy's house, middle of Beverly Hills, by the way. So like these are talk about 1% problems. Beep, bonk, and then I see photos of this fucking guy. He's at the fucking fashion shows in Milan with his soon-to-be wife, all over the place, fucking flexing his muscles, while I'm dealing with his fucking work trucks. He's flying over in his Global or whatever. He's got a private 747 or some shit. He's one of the richest men in the world. Beep, beep, beep. He doesn't give a fuck what I'm going through.
You know what? That's a great trick. Great trick is when he's got a girlfriend or a wife and he's like, let's go to Milan so I can stare at the chicks. It's like a fake way to like, we're at a fashion show. Check out that beaver.
He's like,
in a fashion sense.
I love. Let's check out that beaver in a fashion sense.
I think beavers are actually coming back, babe.
I think beavers are.
Let's get out of here. Beavers did.
No,
split.
I'm serious. Nothing is a better sign of prosperity than being knee deep in beef.
Save a tree to beaver, honey. I put it on my trucks. It's funny.
Oh.
No, but you got the beeps. I got a case of the beeps. Dana moved out to, I don't know where, it's about 2 or 3 hours away. Was it Ojai, Heather? He moved somewhere like that way. And he's got like a nice little chunk out there. So he just likes the tranquility. And he used to live on, sort of right in the heart of town. And just got to him after a while. They were digging up the street with construction forever, and he goes, I just got to tap out for a while. It's just too much cones and beeps and trucks. And
yeah, man.
Everyone feels so
feel
bad
that.
for us. Everyone's like, oh, are you guys okay? Okay. I have questions for you about your career, though.
But it's very relatable. Every time I complain about some shit
It's
like
very
this,
relatable.
about like my house or something totally fucking unrelatable, my buddy Josh is always like, please tweet that. He's like,
Please
hey,
hang yourself. Just tweet it and everyone will hate you.
the guy at the billionaire who's driving his trucks up my back gate. Your back gate? Fucking
Who has a back
hang.
gate?
It's not. It sounds fancier than it is. If you saw it, you'd be like, "Nice try," but it is legitimately.
My driveway is so skinny that two of my friends can't open their car on the side. They pulled in, and they pulled in. When they got in, they go, "What the fuck, dude? I just heard something." I look, and there's a full rip down both their sides of their car.
No,
I'm like, "Oh, what did you do?" Yeah. And it's 100% know it's coming because it's so skinny and it sucks. And they bring like their whatever. You don't even have to have a big one. It's just, I have a crummy driveway in a dog shit house. But other than that, things are going pretty good.
I think the house is great. I'm guessing the house is great.
It looks like a office. It's like glass. It's like classic like look that I kind of hate now, but it's got glass and cement, and everyone's like, "Oh, is this an office building?" I'm like, "No, it's my cozy house." They're like, "This isn't a house. Is it a Restoration Hardware or something? Is it a Air One?" Anyway,
if it was an Air One, Taco would be filled with beef. Hey, do you?
Hey, you pulled back. Don't you dare pull back.
Well, always. Oh no, because I'm reading off something that somebody else wrote. I would never suggest that. How long have you been in your house?
I was in one before this for 20, and now people listening are like, "So you're at least 20?" Yes. I look so young. I come off very young. So, and then I lived here for 2, so I'm at least 22. And I used to live in Truesdale, which is nice and rich, and now I live in Sunset Plaza, which is, it's fine. It's a shoulder shrugger. I will say that one thing people don't know is, maybe this isn't for you, but I've never met my neighbors really in my other house for 20 years, and I don't know them here. No one likes me. No one talks to me. No one, and I'm on a hill, so to walk to my house, it's like Barry's boot camp to go 40 yards. No one will do it. So no one's like, "Hey, come over for a barbecue." Hey, there's no camaraderie there. It's very weird.
No, it's very, very weird. I agree with you. And I moved into this house coming up on almost 3 years ago. And the only people I've met are like the housekeeper who, for the people who live across the street who are now moving out. She's my friend. And I see her. And then she always waves to me. She's nice. She's worked for them for like 40 years, and she's super nice. The people I never see, I'm like, where are the people? Like my actual, on one side, next door neighbors, I've never seen them. I see gardeners and stuff. And then on the other side's super weird. Some older dude, and is like way younger wife. And then here's another one. I was out for dinner. I had all the kids and my partner, Alessandra, and we were out having some dinner, and I get a notice that there's somebody's ringing the doorbell, like one of those apps on my phone. I'm like, what the hell is this? And I can look at it.
Look at this rich guy with his apps.
I know, look at me with my apps. By the way, not even a yearly subscription, month to month. And so cancel? No, I don't need to cancel. I'll fucking pay it. I don't give a shit. It's $1.99 a month. But he calls me.
Baller.
Dude, I'm killing it with the apps. So I look and I see this dude like staring down the camera of like my doorbell with his woman behind him 10 times. I'm not exaggerating. 10 times. Hit the thing. Beep, beep, beep. And I can speak through the app, and I finally go, hey,
you talk? Yeah.
It's kind of like one of those ring things. It's not actually ring. It's another one. But anyway, I'm like, hey, hello? hey, you've got a fire going in your place. You've got an illegal fireplace. I go, no, I don't. You've got fire, and I know, and you can't do that. That's not right. Blah, blah, blah. I go, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm your neighbor. Blah, 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 blah. So they're like, what? Keeps ringing. So finally I go, stop ringing the doorbell. I don't have a fireplace. You've got the wrong house. Blah, blah, blah. So then I'm at dinner. I'm like, fuck, is there a fire at the house? So I drive. I'm like, ugh. And I leave. We've just ordered dinner.
No way, you
I
left.
leave all
What
4
a
kids and my
bummer.
girl, and I get in the car because I'm like, now I'm nervous that there's a fire. So I drive. It's like 22 minutes away. I drive home. I get here. Of course, there's no fire. I don't have a fireplace. And I'm like, what the fuck is fucking? So then I drive back. So I'm like, I'm gonna find this fucking guy. I drive around the neighborhood because he'd sort of say, and then I call him and I go, hey, you came by my house and blah, 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 because he'd left his number on a card. And on the card, he'd say, you're not allowed to have a fireplace that you've put in.
Jeez,
So I
he has
call
to
him and I go,
reiterate it. We know who you are,
Yeah.
guy.
yeah. So I fucking call him and he goes, hey, listen. I go, I didn't have a fire. He goes, I know, it's the wrong house. It's the other people. And I go, you ruined my night. You fucking rang my doorbell 10 times. I'm like the biggest crime. I didn't eat my dinner. And I'm like, you asshole.
My sushi that was cold got cold.
But then he goes, look, he's like an older, he goes, well, look, we're in the same business. We got a lot of mutual friends. I go, really? And he goes, I'm old. He goes, I'm old friends with Jay Leno. I go, what? He literally said that to me.
Dude, I get the mutual friend thing too all the time. We got a lot of mutual friends. I went to one of Sandler's premieres. I go, do you know him? No, but I was a +1. I go, oh, well, we're all in the same boat, I guess. I'm not really asking real questions. I'm not like that. This isn't like a real show, but
Yeah.
I saw obviously Blades of Glory. Was Stupid Swartzen in that movie? Nick Swartzen? That little pudgy
Does he officially
rodent?
go by stupid?
Yeah, he's a moron.
He was in that. Schwarzenegger.
He's like that dog on TikTok that looks around and goes, when you go to the airport and you don't know what gate you're at, and it goes, boop, 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 boop. And the dog just stares into the lens and looks around. I get that video every other one, and it makes me laugh. And I go, Schwartzen, is this you? But yeah, he's super dumb, and he doesn't know really anything. But he was in that movie, and
he was.
Blades of Glory was a fun one, man.
That was a fun movie. I was just talking about the other day. I went to a Kings game with Will Ferrell and our kids and wife and stuff, and he was saying, I was talking about, I ended up doing a bunch of the skating. I'm not the best skater in the world, but I played hockey growing up. So I skated in that. I did the most skating of everybody in that cast.
Oh, really?
Of my own. Yeah. I didn't do any like tricks or anything. Let's not get crazy, but
your skating is hard. Skating, can you skate backwards? Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I skated with my ex, Amy, she and I played brother or sister in that. And
yeah,
I ended up doing a lot of skating with her double. It was one of the first movies they did face replacement, where they did like CG.
Oh,
yeah.
They could do. I didn't know that in that movie. That's
like
way back too.
2006. We made
like
that.
88.
We shot it. Yeah, 80. What year did you start
these
on?
Quiet burns in.
I know.
SNL 67.
So you were pre SNL before they called it SNL. You were in the pre years.
I was on SNL when I heard Jack Ruby shot that one guy.
When they do that, do you remember where you were?
I was doing a sketch.
You were doing a sketch. You were doing Tuesday night writing when you heard Jack Ruby.
Yeah, Jack Ruby, and they go, Jack Ruby shot somebody, and I go, Lennon, and they go, fuck, let me check. I'll call you right back.
Downey didn't Downey wrote a cold open about Jack Ruby right that week?
He did? Yeah. He had a cold open. We had to keep changing it because everything was changing so fast. We had Matt Damon come in and play him because all this cast wasn't good enough. I like when the cast goes, hey, we're going to play this. De Niro's going to play your part. Matt Damon's playing your part. And you 22 cast members can sit in the balcony if you want to watch the show. That's always a bummer. Yeah, nothing really major happened when I was on SNL like that. Nothing good. Oh, you were in Toronto, by the way. 416 in the house.
416 is definitely in the house.
Is it still 416? Are they still milking that?
I mean, the cool kids. Yeah. But there are a bunch of new like sort of valley codes now.
Oh, gross.
You know what I mean? But
is 416 the good one? Like 310?
416 the old. It's the as we say. I always say the OG. Do you know? I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah.
And 416 is definitely the OG. And then the new one is 647.
Block.
That's like going 818. Yeah, that's block.
I got 818 block on my phone. I don't talk to people in the valley. I go, you whip around a hill, you say something to me. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Oh, your dad ran Molson Breweries. I'm not reading this off Wikipedia. Your dad ran I don't know if you know this. He was and Molson, we chugged that shit in Arizona. We had Molson keggers. It was it had a big wide. Did it have a different bottle? I know there's Mickey's Big Mouth. You ever heard of that?
No, what is that? That's a beer?
That was a weird beer that had a big, their hook was where you drank out of it. It was bigger. It was like a bigger circle. And that was their only hook. But Molson
you get
Gold,
more wasted, dude.
Yeah, you get so fucking wasted and then you do it with a straw.
Yeah.
But Molson, and then we went to keggers. I put you through college. We drank so much Molson.
Did you really?
In Arizona.
Were you a big beer drinker?
I was such a fucking puss. I mean, you'll never believe this, but I was such a little dandelion. I wasn't this athlete, hard ass stuntman you see before you. I was just always like falling down from weakness. But I did take, what I could do in school, which was shocking.
Yeah.
Aside from not get any action, was I would we took weightlifting as an elective, and I could bench. You bench, you deadlift, you do all these things you get graded on, but I could jump rope.
Oh.
I fucking, I'm so I can't now. I could whip it out. I would do 1 minute forward, 1 minute backward, 1 minute of crisscross, 1 minute of doubles.
Ooh.
And I don't know what the last one was, but it would burn you out so bad. And I was so good at it. And it didn't get me any action. I thought it would. It wasn't really the panty dropper I thought it would be, but it was something. I needed something on the old pick and res.
It's too bad you don't do it now.
No, now it would be a cool thing to do because I would do it on Instagram all day and film it, and show everyone like, fucking, you got to rise and grind. But I barely rise and I do not grind.
Nothing's worth anything if you can't record it and post it. Otherwise,
of course? Why would I do that? Why would anyone do anything? There's no value.
Yeah,
I can't believe I used to do anything because I couldn't post it.
Yeah, same here. I don't.
Oh, man, the people that do stuff and just film every goddamn day, and I'm like, all right. The funniest thing is these girls. Obviously, they're cute, but they're on either Instagram, whatever, and they literally like lean toward the camera, fake cover their boobs, like don't look or whatever, and then they turn it on. Go back to standing, and there's a song on. They just kind of look around with dead eyes, and just kind of move, not that great. And then they kind of fake laugh, and then they go back and turn it off. And I'm like, 22 million views. What the fuck is going? I think the problem is by the time I figure out it's dumb, I can't reach to stop it. It's already clicked in.
Right.
She's like, it counted.
You counted.
They got me.
Yeah.
So,
do you think it's ruined? This is
life.
This week on a very special fly on the wall. Do you think the internet has ruined us? No. Do you think social media has fucking destroyed us as a society, just turned us into bigger morons than we already were? I do.
Yes. No one thought it was possible, but yes.
I think it's exposed us it's exposed our inner moron.
Well, there used to be a little mystery. I do feel a little bit for the women out there that, when you were cute, my high school had like the 2 for sure babes. And then their only pressure was they heard some girl at Arcadia was pretty, but they don't even know outside of their town. So they're doing okay. Yeah. But when you're in competition on Instagram with the rest of the world, and you're like, oh my God, every girl is pretty. Or don't come. I mean, Instagram is ridiculous. And then between filters and all, you don't know if you're competing in a real competition or if that's their version of steroids. They're like, wait, you had a filter, you're disqualified, but you don't know. So every single person's pretty. It's too stressful. I'm sure for women, it's like, how can I even look like every whatever? And that's part of it. The dumb things everyone films are part of it.
Yeah,
and America's got literally no talent. That's really the big underlying theme here. When they show what they do and stuff, I'm like, nothing. Got nothing.
No, there's nothing. There's no wit to any of it, right? I mean, this is my biggest complaint is that there's zero.
Mm-hmm.
There's no wit and there's no real premium paid for wit anymore. You know, I mean, that's the
true.
bummer.
That's a good way to put it.
And I watch my kids, my teenage boys, they're pretty good, but for a while they were watching stuff. They're getting a little more discerning, but they'd watch stuff and I go, like my 13-year-old Abel is, and both my kids my older boys are funny dudes, but Abel is like seriously funny kid. And I'm like, you're way funnier than the shit you're giving your time
watching
to.
the wrong stuff, right?
You're just watching a bunch of crap. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah. You know what's funny? I block when they do those pranks and they're unfunny. Like they go in a store and like throw a ball at a guy's head and they look around like, hey, who did it? I'm like, first of all, I really want you to get the shit kicked out of you. Second of all, these aren't funny. They're to make you look great and everyone looks stupid.
Yeah.
And it's and then they put all the like crying emojis to let you know, oh, this is funny. There's 5 crying emojis. You didn't laugh, but I'm showing you that this is a comedy piece. And then I block anyone that's not funny. I block them. I give them one shot and then I get mad. I go, no, please don't come up again. I can't.
I love that you said that about the crying laughing emoji. It's the equivalent to the applause sign, right? It's like, oh, now I applaud.
So, it really is. It's like, this denotes funny.
Fuck, man. I watched an award show the other night. I'm not going to say which one. And
there was 7 yesterday.
Exactly. So this was recorded. This is timeless. And I was watching pieces of entertainment. I won't say if it's a movie or a TV show that were nominated as comedies.
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer is the funniest movie of the year.
No, I agree with you. Are you about to say that comedies you're like, that's not a comedy, is it?
That's not a comedy. No. And I saw a show, and it won all this stuff. And I'm like, well made, great, really good. Not a comedy. I would dare to say that they don't think it.
I saw one. I saw one like that, and I go, and it said for supporting actor in a comedy. And they showed the show, or whatever it was, and I go,
yeah,
that's a comedy.
Yeah,
I'm not sure it is. It would be like if they said Succession was a comedy, and you'd be like,
yes.
It feels like it's a way to get in a category to hopefully win, or something weird's going on like that. Because
I don't know what's going on. It freaked me out, but then I'm like the worst person. We were at our mutual friend's house watching, and then I'm like the
restaurant.
Yeah, the restaurant, and I had the
laser beams.
I had the laser pointer going, and I was it was brutal, and I did not.
That's a tough room, but it's fucking hilarious. But that's every room in America.
We were done, of course. Yeah,
everyone does.
Every
that.
room is. It's like what?
It's so awesome. I have to say, I have nothing to say. Did you see Chelsea Handler on an award show, which could have been yesterday or 6 months ago? And she looked great. She had a joke, but she kind of had a burn on her ex-boyfriend. I wonder if he texted her and said, "Not cool."
I don't know. I saw that. I saw bits and pieces of it. I think, she's funny. She makes me laugh. I think she's super smart and funny. And I saw that too. And I was wondering if I wonder if
that's a joke that the next person that hosted might have capitalized off Joe Coy and said, I'm going to say a joke, but at his expense, saying like, oh, I'm going to thank my writers that wrote that joke because I do like my writers. And then it kind of gets like an applause or something. But I think I would have felt a little bad if I was JK because those shows are Dana and I talked about it. They're so tough, and I've hosted some stuff, and it doesn't always work. And even have you ever gone out for like an award show and do your clanker joke, and you're like work on it. I'm like, why am I working on this? It's going to get absolutely nothing, no matter what. Unless you're Will Ferrell, you come out singing or something with Kristen Wiig, and it's like, okay, people are gonna laugh. That's funny.
It's there's so little upside. I texted with Will after the Globes because he and Kristen came out and did that bit with the music, and I was like, that was the highlight of the night by far. Nothing else was close. But then you see, like, first of all, again, there's no upside. There's no why do it. I've been asked to host a bunch of those things, and I've always said no. And I'm like, nope, including I won't name them, but a bunch of the ones that were just very recent. I was like, no way.
Right, the Stuntman Awards, yeah.
The Stuntman, Production Design Awards, and
PDAs,
and catering awards. But because there's no upside. I'm not saying I'm not showing off that they asked me. I mean, they've asked 1 million people. Like I'm one of 800,000 people that they asked. I just mean that my thought process is
it's very tempting.
It's hard to win. It's very tempting, but it's hard to get a win out of it. So why? And so few people are really great at it. Like Kimmel's great at it. I think he's so good at it. And
he's pretty smooth, and he's very nonplussed, and he kind of giggles and nonchalant. But they're used to him, and I think that was Joe Coy. They didn't know him like back and forth like they know Kimmel, and so they're sort of like, you got to earn it with us, guy. And and by the way, he didn't totally bomb. There's a couple things didn't work, like everything, but I think the Taylor Swift thing, along with some others, just sort of put him in a hole he couldn't get out of.
Yeah, it's tough to come out swinging like that if they don't know you. I thought the same thing, which is they're like, you don't have. It's not like you don't have any goodwill. You just have no will. They have no idea who you are. So that's tough. I felt for him. I really did. A lot of people were like shitting on him. I just thought, man, that fucking poor guy. That sucks. Like no matter what, that just must feel lonely as shit. I don't know.
I was just saying to. Well, I don't know anybody, but I was talking to myself the other day, and I was saying, I saw on Instagram, you'll laugh at this, and you better, so I'm cueing you with emojis that it's funny. But I saw a picture of me at a premiere of like Terminator, and I realized I was such a fucking premiere whore that when I was on like Just Shoot Me or After SNL, I know me and Farley went to at least 100. We were at Casino with Scorsese. It was so exciting. Like, hey, they treat you like a king. Hey, you want to come to our premiere? Hey, it's a huge movie. You get to see it a week ahead, and you get front row and free everything. Yeah. There's a press line. You're going to see all these people. And I wet the beak a little too much on that one. And I was looking back, and they keep showing me. Now I'm in this algo. It's like, and he was at another premiere. They don't say that. They just say, oh, here's the premiere of Speed. There's Keanu Reeves. There's David Spade. I'm like, fuck, was I at that too? And then it's like, here's True Lies, David Spade, Chris Farley. I go, you're kidding me. And I look like the biggest dope at every one. I'm like,
but you know what? It was different back then, though.
Stylist.
But it was different back then, too. There wasn't as much. Here's the other thing about the award show. I have two things I want to say about that. One is, this goes back to my earlier point about social media. Now you turn on the thing, you're like, why do I get it? They're like, so-and-so's on the carpet. I'm like, so what? I just saw them on fucking Instagram yesterday. It's not special. It used to be you never saw these people. Now you just see them all the time. You're like, who gives a fuck? The other thing is, I think you should put together a coffee table book of you at premieres. And it goes like...
it's a premiere whore?
Yeah.
And just show me. Yeah.
Dude, it would be amazing.
Funny.
It
is funny
great.
that every outfit and have everyone just check it out and go, you're joking with these pants and shit. But it was funny because everything got approved by me, and I thought it looked pretty styling.
Sure.
And now I'm sad about it. Yeah, but it was, and I was like, oh, that was fun. Oh, that one was fun. It was fun, but I was a little drunk with like, hey, I get to go where, it was fun and this and that. And I'm at the MTV Awards. And I'm like, God, take your foot off the gas, guy. And I didn't even have hair, makeup. I didn't have anything. It was just like, hey, this coat doesn't fit me. I'll wear that. And these jeans are out of style. I'll wear those. And I'll wear these goddamn shoes. And then my hair will look stupid. And here's glasses that I'll regret later. And I'll put those sunglasses on. And then maybe give a few peace signs and God, duck lips. I was early on the duck lips, I tell you.
Duck
I
lips,
think it was
peace
out of
signs.
nervousness.
What about pray hands?
But I haven't done that. You know, it's funny. You're right
Oh.
about like Harrison Ford, the real movie stars you didn't see out on Instagram.
No.
And, you know, growing up,
No.
you go Paul Newman, and it was old school with like, you know, there's some big star like Frank Sinatra, and he comes out of a club, and there's a paparazzi going, flash, flash. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That's not your wife. I'm sorry. We'll burn the film.
Yeah.
But, you know, they weren't like out to get you.
No.
And now, yeah, and then you don't see these guys unless you see them on stage in person. It's very valuable to see them.
Yeah.
You go to their show or you see their movie, and that's it. You don't run into them in real life. And now Keanu Reeves is doing like nunchucks on TikTok. You're like, no, you stay in the movies. Actually, that's a bad example. He's one of the few that's super cool and just
Yeah, he's cool. He can carry it. But I know what you mean. Do you think what was the deal? Boy, hey, tell us you're old without telling us you're old. Martin Scorsese's done all these videos, right? It's like on TikTok or Instagram with his daughter. Yeah. And it's like,
Okay.
And people have been, it's become like a thing. And like, it's like him, I don't know what he's doing, but something, I'm thinking like, you didn't see like Cecil B. DeMille on TikTok. You know what I mean? Like this guy.
I didn't see
like
John Wayne doing the hot
Yeah.
pepper challenge.
No.
Here's Jane Fonda trying to swallow cinnamon, throwing up on camera. It's so true. It's so weird.
Here's Clark Gable doing the ice bucket challenge.
Clark Gable put his nuts in a fucking mousetrap. Got 1 million views. You're like, oh, I'll go see his movie.
No, you see him in his
It's different
movies, and then
time.
like every once in a while they'd have a
Never.
photograph of just him getgetting out of a chauffeur-driven Rolls Royce, and you're like,
Right. It's so cool. Yeah.
Mhm.
Maryland, the old days, like, and now they want you to jump around and the
how
Rock
Marilyn
goes to
Monroe
In-N-Out
right
every
now
weekend.
would have 500 million followers on OnlyFans. You know what I mean? Like that's the
Oh
difference.
yeah. She would
It
flip
should
to
just be-
OnlyFans quickly.
Oh, for
She'd
sure.
be like, Should I be a trillionaire overnight or not? It's a tough call. Every time I look on Instagram, they're like, oh, look at this nice young lady, and there's like a chili pepper by her picture. I go, uh-oh. Linktree, uh-oh. Boop, boop. Millionaire.
It's fucking true, man.
I was going to ask you if you skateboard. It says you skateboard, or does it say you skate?
No. Skate.
You don't skate.
I mean,
Said skate, and I'm such a skateboarder that we call it skating. That's where we got messed up.
do you skateboard? Did you skateboard in Arizona?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I would skate desert pipes. I would skate pools and shit. I was cool for a while. I didn't even know I had some components of being cool, and it didn't really pay off. My favorite thing was when I was on Smartless and Sean said he goes to the seafood restaurant. I always think about that when I go to Koi. Remember when that funny when he goes, I was at a seafood restaurant, and we kept going. I'm like, you don't mean koi, it is sushi? And he's like, yeah, seafood. I go, who on God's green earth calls it seafood? Did you ever? I hope you ragged him about that.
Oh my
later.
God, are you kidding? We fucking
It's the
non-fucking
funniest fucking
stop.
thing in the world.
It's so
It's the
fucking.
funniest thing. It was it when I did Smartless, his show, and at the beginning I'm waiting to come on, and oh yeah, Heather blew it. I think Heather said, "Hang on, David, you're up," but they still didn't know what David it was. But the idea of Smartless, for those of you who don't know,
Yeah.
two of you guys aren't ready. Whose guest was I? Do I remember?
I think you were mine, right? Weren't you?
Okay, so
I think.
So anyway, so I come on, and then two people aren't prepared, but they just wing it. And then, but Sean, before I got on, was talking. Say it again. Oh, so he gets on, and he starts before I get on, and I was listening, waiting to come on, and he's like, "We were at the seafood restaurant." And he kept talking. I'm like, "I see David there. I see this guy there all the time." And I go, "I've only seen him at the sushi restaurant." And then I go, and then when I got on, we start busting his balls. He goes, "Yeah, that's what I meant." We all were like, "Blah."
By the way,
It's pretty
By the way,
funny.
it's amazing. And Your episode is one of those episodes that people, I'm not just saying this because I'm doing this. People love your episode. Your episode was fucking hilarious. You told so many good stories. That story about you waiting tables and then your manager giving you shit. And you're like, hang on a second, man. I'm fucking killing it over here. Why are you?
When I'm a busboy in Arizona.
Oh, you're a busboy. You're a busboy. You weren't even aware.
Everyone hated me and I got fired from every goddamn job. And then when I went over and the manager tells me not to talk to the people. And I said, I want to be a waiter. He goes, you don't got the stuff. And I'm like, what stuff? I do the hard part. I lift everything. I do it. The waiter just goes, hey, everybody. And then walks away and goes, take care of that table. Bring them their food. So he kept ragging on me because I kept doing little bits to the tables.
Yeah.
And then, well, the last part was he told me 100 times and he was standing nearby and I walked by a table and they go, hey, shark was on the menu. Remember that? It was a special day with shark.
Yeah.
For some reason in Arizona. And I go, I'm over there, squeak, squeak, cleaning their fucking plates. And they go, hey, how's the shark? I go, oh, I got a motto. I don't eat them. They don't eat me. Spade. I'm like, God damn it. I go, what? And he goes, what are you doing over there? I go, fucking killing. And he goes, dude, I just told you don't talk to. I go, I'm getting applause breaks at the big tables. And he's like, dude, you're done today. And I'm like, are you joking? These people will fucking riot if I'm not here. I'm the closer, dude. I'm like headlining. It was so embarrassing. And he fired me and I'm like, okay, you tell him. And he's like, no one notices. No one cares. But I thought I was like the hit of the whole place.
He fucking fired you.
Never, ever was a waiter. Yeah, never was a waiter. Never got it. I bust so many times and got fired. And then I was a dishwasher. I go, I think I'm going backwards. And it was sad.
That is backwards.
I'm going to sum you up, ready? Because you've been very nice.
Okay.
And I know we joke a lot. We did snake oil.
We did snake oil.
Snake oil we worked on
Fox.
And, that was a lot of fun. That was on Fox. And those products are actually so funny. You know, the only funny thing I'll say about that show is it's a show where you guess the products and to guess which one's real and which one's fake.
Yeah.
And even after I shot it, first of all, I was wrong every time when I shot it.
Yeah.
Even when I watched it, I still don't remember and I still don't know. That's how dumb I am. I'm like, that was the fun of it. They're like, there's no way it's that. And then it's
I wouldn't remember it if I had to go back because I came on and did that episode and like, if I had to come on and they gave me the same products again, I would remember.
Exactly.
But I will say this: the guy I was partnered with, he didn't take my advice. I would have won. I would have won my.
Oh,
you
really?
Don't remember, but I would. Yeah, I would have won.
Sometimes it goes the other way, but yeah.
Yeah, because he didn't take my advice at the last. I said, I think it's this. And he's like, man, I go, okay, up to you, buddy.
Hey,
and he was wrong.
It is up to them. So, but I remember when Bethany Frank was on, they had one of the craziest ones was just a square piece of wood, and they go, "This is a fake camera to take fake selfies, so you can really live your life out." And I'm like, "This is so ridiculous." And of course, it was real. And then I go, "The idea is you just hold up. It's the same as a picture. Like, why wouldn't you just do it with your camera? Why is that? This is ruining your night, also." I'm not going to fix this overnight. All right. Well, you're a sweetheart and I do miss you and I'll see you over at our friend's restaurant soon, hopefully. Sure. I'm going to tell Dana you came by. This has been a presentation of Odyssey. Please follow, subscribe, leave a like, a review, all the stuff. Smash that button, whatever it is, wherever you get your podcasts. Fly on the Wall is executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Jenna Weiss-Berman of Odyssey, Charlie Finan of Brillstein Entertainment, and Heather Santoro. The show's lead producer is Greg Holtzman. We had one of our favorites on, Dana, Will Ferrell.
Yes, he was so delightful. Really fun hanging out with him.
One of the top all-time.
Lorne Michaels said top 2, as we discussed.
And I believe it. I think that one of the guys that consistently makes me laugh hard over the years, from SNL to the movies to everything he does,
Yeah.
And he's so successful. Everything was really clicking on all cylinders. We had a blast with him, and he was as advertised. He was funny. He was charming. We told some funny stories. I actually told one story that I was going to tell you that the point of this goofy story I told about being on a drama I did was really just saying how the special effects people were so professional. Because I was sort of making fun of the whole situation. But the bottom line was he was very cool. And you'll hear the story. But
because he'll hear the story.
Yeah, he'll hear the story.
But you got to hear the story.
I'm making fun of me.
Yeah, it's a very funny story. And
was
David did an act out. David did an act out that was very funny, and Will went with it. But so, you know, we dug into some stuff. We got Will to really tell us some cool stories about Norm. Stay tuned
those
for
are
those.
great. Those are great.
We talked
Norm
about
was in jeopardy with him, and that's how that whole thing started.
Yeah, and at SNL and stuff. And we got some other details about cowbell, which is everyone's favorite sketch, and the walking of it all and the origin of that.
Dug into Anchorman.
That's very cool.
Elf.
And his nerves, you know, it was interesting to hear him open up just about his trajectory to superstardom.
We overlapped 1 year, and Dana obviously had just taken off. So he talked about that dynamic between all three of us and how we knew each other. And I had met him before in a weird place. Right. And so I just thought that was just a big home run. Yeah. I really had a fucking blast with him.
In our overlap meter, I checked it after the show. It was only at 33%.
We were really
as far
good.
as interrupting him when he was on a roll.
Really good. I got itchy at the end, so I did it on purpose, but because I know the audience loves it.
They love when we interrupt.
They love when we wear sunglasses and we interrupt people. But let's get.
Well, I just want to mention one thing.
Yeah,
you can cut it or not, but because it's Will Ferrell, we had a lot of people outside.
Yeah.
They're more than autograph seekers. That's 1957.
They don't even like us, by the way.
They're just like collecting baseball cards. They're very passionate. Usually I'll stop. There'd be 10 or 15. I drive up. There's 300 people in the alley. Okay. So I'm parked way down. And just to get into the theater, it was like a spy mission. How did you get in? Well,
Heather and I were, I ran into Heather on the street. She was parking. So she jumped in, dropped me in the front, which is a great trick. And they know my car. She parked
They know your car?
And when she got back, she saw Will. Will was getting slammed. And then you got the worst of it when you left. Because you went out the front, I went out the back at the end.
Well, I went out the side door, and I had someone with me from the theater.
Did not work.
So he goes, "We're in front, go back." Goes, "There's a special side door." We climbed up a ladder and went down a sewer
They
hole.
have drones. They're like,
we
got
climb out.
Carvey. Split them up. Spades in back car.
I'm on the corner, and I don't know what's happening to you or Will, and I'm thinking, this guy, we're going to walk down to my car, about to cross the street. They see me, and it's like zombies swarming, and they start. So suddenly I'm enveloped.
World
I can't
War
see
Z.
or hear. And then the other guy starts going, "Shut the fuck up, man! I was at a comedy show 3 minutes ago. Shut the fuck up! I can't move." Meanwhile, I said to everyone, "Spade is so happy right now because you actually honking your horn."
Oh, I drove by
and took a picture of me
in the middle of this scrum. So, because I'm in the back and they're like, "Sign here." And Will was saying too, he goes, "What's all the clear plastic?" And you have to use a different pen for everyone.
It's these
what
little
the fuck
dolls
is going
of your
on?
characters.
Yeah,
you have to sign little Uncos.
And they got Cuzco, and they got anything from a poster to this. And so you're signing. And they also all hate me. They just are like, "Sign, you goddamn machine robot." And then if we get Sandler to sign, the grown-ups, and you, and Schneider. So I'm signing a few, and then whenever you stop, they go, "What the fuck?" And they go, "My kid needs one." I go, "All right." And they go, "Your biggest fan." The little girl looks at me, and I go, "What movie do you like?" "Who the fuck are you?" Hey, easy. She loves it. She's nervous.
Mob like they put drum heads for a kick drum in front of me because one time
you get it.
because I was bored in Minneapolis or something, I drew a Garth picture. So I'm drawing and signing and I did sign your name a few times. I'm sign. And then one of our producers, Charlie, says, "Come with me." So we went down the street. "Come on, go!" And they're all following us, and it's just crazy. This is so funny at this time in my career. I wasn't mobbed like this during Wayne's World. And then we had to go around the neighborhood and ditch him. Are they down? I was in the back. He's not here. We found my car.
Then you look back, Charlie's being eaten by them. Go!
Just go. Tell my mom I loved her. So I got in the car and I saw another guy getting out, more zombies getting out with bobbleheads. Here they come. Charlie pulled up, kind of blocked him. Then I'm flooring it away. I broke the speed limit on the way home. I came in, put the gate code in.
Running with a bobblehead like this.
Looking behind myself,
They said baseball. I don't even know what's going on. I go, they think I'm Hank Aaron?
So anyway, I
aside-
think they are like baseball collectors. By the way, we love you guys. It was just a little bit
We like
too
the
much.
fans.
We love the passion, but it was just too much.
But the ones that no matter how many we sign, they scream at the end. So it's like, whatever. Anyway, Will was taken aback.
But the
because I
show
haven't
was
done this
really
in a while.
good. You got to listen
We're
to
the
this. Will
biggest
Ferrell.
assholes. We sound like Prince Harry.
Yeah,
and
maybe we
Meghan
should cut
Markle.
this out.
No, we love it. They love it. They love that we're real people. We're two fucking
We're
assholes.
real people and fragile. I got bumbled around. But anyway,
I
Will Ferrell
bruised.
was one of our all-time favorites. So that was so cool to get him at the live theater. Enjoy.
Here it is at Largo.
David and Dana sitting in a tree. Dana and Dave, we're just a fly on the wall down the hall of SNL. It's pretty good. SNL. Dana and Dave.
They got it. They know.
Thank you.
Hey, Dan, how are you?
That was Jimmy Fallon on our podcast, got an acoustic guitar and made up that
Neil
theme
Young
song
parody,
as
yeah.
Neil Young. So,
Yeah.
can we play it again? Okay.
Listen, let's
Thanks for coming.
let's get our buddy out here. We got a good crowd. They know the show. They know Largo, and they've been waiting. They just heard the Gettysburg Address read to them, so they're excited.
There are a lot of rules.
Ready for some jokes. I talked to this guy backstage, and he's not really on tonight. But you know what? Dana and I are going to cover for him.
He's gonna come in the hot seat. That's
He's
what
one
it
of
is.
the, I hate to say, all-time greats. First ballot Hall of Famer, John
Number
William
42.
Farrell. Here he is from SNL. And other stuff. Yeah.
I know it.
All right, a little more applause than we got, but who cares? There he is. I'm going to go sideways.
Test one.
I'm kind of in front of you.
Check. One.
Will,
Yeah, this is a-
Sibilance.
this is a little-
Sibilance.
did you like they got my chair from a fucking yard sale?
I was like, that chair was put together like 15 minutes ago.
I'm getting a better. I'm getting a worse. Okay.
This is
guys-
a good angle too.
Yeah.
I know.
Right?
It's weird.
To try to talk
So,
to Dana.
Will, were you impressed when you first met me?
If I lay back enough, I can catch both of you guys.
I can't even see you with that.
I said, come on, he's not that tall. Get him a 5'8" seat. Now he's got a bad back.
Listen, I remember the night I got spinal bifida. I was at Largo.
Spinal Who? Oh, that was a great heavy metal band from the 70s.
So, listen, we got time for
That's all I
one
got.
more.
When was the last time you heard a spinal bifida reference?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that
just
was-
think
that's a
I just
fair
said
pull.
it, and then I
Yeah.
felt like it's mean because it's
very
like
Dennis Miller. Spinal bifida, okay? The starting linebacker for the Detroit Lions, all right?
Also, too, if anyone's worried, I brought my wallet. I don't know why.
look at how fat it is, you rich.
Damn, that's a fatty.
That's a movie star wallet, right?
That's just from
Do you
Elf.
carry
I
cash?
still carry cash. You
You
never
carry
know.
cash?
Yeah. There's going to be a fun giveaway tonight. Cash. I'm just handing out cash.
I didn't know there's an ATM here.
Would you
It's
like your-
spinal bifida night in the Largo Theater.
Would you like some gum?
Come and get some.
You don't have to have it. I'm just throwing
Is it a trick? Is it a
It's,
trick?
no, it's nothing.
Dana, all kidding aside, let's get to the serious part.
Let's see. Where I'd like to start.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I know I can't see you at all, but it's
I
okay.
know. I'm going to do
Do you
this.
mind holding it?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Thank you.
I feel like, this is
Sorry.
more Tony Bennett kind of. The best is yet to come, and I feel fine. Didn't you do Tony Bennett on the show?
I did not.
Oh.
Anyway,
Anyway,
let's go to questions.
Robert Goulet.
I did Robert Goulet.
Robert Goulet.
Yeah,
What did he sound like?
Alec Baldwin did Tony Bennett.
That's right.
He did a great Tony Bennett.
okay.
No, I did Robert Goulet.
Bob.
Bob Goulet.
Yeah.
And he just had a very deep voice and referenced his appearance in Camelot. Camelot. And we just write him in weird scenarios. I think he did a rap album with Jay-Z. We did a sketch with Jay-Z.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and we also did a bit where it was Robert Goulet's musical called Red Ships of Spain, where he didn't realize he was making out with his daughter, his real life daughter. Anna Gasteyer played his daughter.
Very Anna.
Played his love interest in Red Ships of Spain. It turns out was his daughter the whole time.
You can't write this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, you did write
No,
this stuff.
I did.
Okay. Well, let's go back to the beginning. Will,
Let's go back to the beginning.
go
Can I
back.
do a childhood chunk to get us all warmed up? Because I want to take Will to 10 years of
That
age.
far
I know
back? Okay.
Dad's here. Okay. Faith.
But hold on, I just want to say
Yes.
Yeah,
it's a pleasure to be here.
thank you.
Thank you.
Great to be here, you guys.
Very nice. Thank you.
Dana Carvey, one of my all-time favorites.
No, you can't tell me
Great sketch players of all time. David, you did stuff too that was interesting. But
Thank you, Will.
you're on the Mount Rushmore. Yes.
We're going to the after party together.
Spade, Little Train That Could, you know.
Listen, it took me a
Charlie
while to-
Hustle Award every year at the banquet. They give it to Spade.
Not even.
And
Charlie Brown, you
know
always
what?
root for him.
But in all honesty, Dave was you were still with the show when we all got hired, and you were like a big brother to us. You kind of showed us the ropes.
Yep.
And
We had a year overlapping.
a year overlapping. You were super cool to me, especially to all of us. Took me to dinner multiple times, hung out, gave us words of wisdom.
Do you remember
advice.
one time I invited you over to the Upper West Side to have lunch, and then I ate before you got there?
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? Why I remember that? But
Yeah,
But you always eat before.
I
you
know,
just
but he
run-
wasn't even late. It was not even his fault. It was weird.
I don't think I was late at
No,
all.
it wasn't. It was my fault. But that was just maybe I was
So
nervous.
he's eating a meal when you walk in.
I guess. I think I was finished.
And I used to wait, sorry, what?
No, not at
Oh,
all.
okay. Back in the days where I was thinking, do I want to get into comedy? Can I even get into comedy? Do I even have the guts to even try this stuff? I would go to open mic night at the Irvine Improv
Oh, I love that place.
and almost get the guts to sign up, but sit in the back of the house
Okay.
and just watch the comedians and go, oh, I'm funnier than them.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm funnier than that. Ooh, no, not that guy. That guy's really good. But Spade, you hosted one. I watched
wow.
you host open
that's
mic.
Great.
And next thing I know, you're on SNL. And
You're like, what the fuck?
I was like, really? I guess anyone.
Well, then anyone could get on
do it.
SNL.
Yeah.
Man. It was
I
No,
also
but you were super funny and relaxed. And I was like, oh, man.
You know, when I saw you on SNL and you guys, Farley, Sandler, those kind of guys, that whole team that I was with left one year. I heard they got fired. I did not know they got fired. Did you hear that? I heard they got
I
fired.
want to meet the guy who fired
I
Chris
know.
Farley and Adam Sandler.
I think
they
his name-
gotta go.
Is his name
There's
Lauren?
nothing there.
What? No more gas in the tank.
Chris.
Yeah.
Not
Come in.
funny.
Yeah.
Period. Get him out of my sight.
I don't see a track record. I don't see
Yeah.
it.
Nothing there. Lauren was like, Chris, come to my office and clean your locker. But I stayed an extra year, which I don't know if that was good or bad, but I stayed. And then I think maybe you and Sherry O'Terry and maybe Molly, they all came in. And the first show that you did, because I felt like sort of went to college but came back and sat on the wall in high school. Like I should have just left with everybody.
Right.
But I stayed and did I had 5 minutes a week to
You
do my own
want some
thing.
more glory.
But a little bit.
Yeah.
I was milking it.
Yeah.
Some to the kitty. So then I said, okay, I think the first show you did that I remember, you did Get Off the Shed. Is that true? The first
That's true.
show.
Yeah.
And that was one I didn't know. I didn't know your audition. I didn't know anything. And I thought, this guy's got some fucking game. Because it was such an oddball, didn't see it coming, didn't know where it
Right.
was going sketch. And then I think Did you think
It's what I auditioned with, actually.
You did get off the show in the
Yeah.
audition? Because I saw a clip of you doing the cat.
Yeah.
And maybe that's sort of a viral
To
clip.
dead
But
silence.
am I crazy? It didn't do well.
Yeah, no, it was.
What
I
was
was
the
literally.
cat one again?
It was just a guy in his office who was like.
You didn't give it much setup, by the way.
No, there's no setup.
I
It
want
was
to know
like-
what played to silence. So
It was
Lauren
like-
Michaels sitting there. Have you got anything else? And you pull this out.
Well,
We've heard the shed thing, but is there something else?
pure in 8H
Yeah.
with a spotlight on you.
Horrifying.
No one else in there except Lauren in the back smoking a cigarette, just his little ember of a cigarette.
Holding them
Glowing.
upside
Tipperillo.
down.
Yeah, a Tipperillo.
It's funnier when you say it.
And and the
Go.
premise literally was, I think there was a table and a chair
Yeah.
and a phone, maybe a prop phone.
Okay.
And it was like, please hold all my calls.
Yep.
And then I just started playing with cat toys.
Like an adult on the ground, like
On
hitting
the
a toy
ground,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the secretary would buzz again, and I'm like, yeah, tell him I'll call him back in 20 minutes. And then I go back on the ground. But it was to dead silence.
I was shocked.
And I remember thinking in my head, like, well, this is going to be a really good story when I go back to LA. And they're like, what happened? I'm like, well, I thought that would be funny to play with cat toys on the ground.
They're like, wait, you did that in your audition? You're like, no, it was funny.
It was-
I
yeah.
thought.
Oh, the guy who fired Sandler and Farley loved
he
it.
loved
Yeah.
it. That's
Now that's comedy. Because the guy doesn't play with cats. I think
No,
I'm
it
getting
was
into
cat-
walking a little bit. Sorry.
It was cat toys. He like
And
lays on the
Regis.
ground and
Oh,
bats around like a piece of yarn and plays it like that.
Yeah.
And very funny. And I was watching it because it was like on Yahoo News. They're like, Will Ferrell's first audition. I go, oh, I don't think I ever saw this. And then you do that,
Yeah.
and it was like crickets. I go,
yeah.
who's there? Marcy and Ken Among, and that's it.
That's it.
Because you're not required to go to auditions. I don't think. I only went to
Bob
Louis
Van
C.K.
Rye was like there.
Bobby Van
Yeah.
Rye.
Yeah.
Going, get him next time, guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the stage manager.
Nice try, kid.
So you do that. You do Get Off the Shed. Did anything do well?
No, because there were no
Yeah.
I think Lauren.
Did they tape it and watch it or
They
something?
would tape it and watch it. It
Oh.
was being beamed back to like Burbank at the same time. It was being.
He's at Hamburger
beamed.
Hamlet watching it
I'm
on
using the
monitor.
technical term beamed.
Yeah.
It was.
Local
It was
reference.
beamed.
You're being beamed.
But Molly Shannon told us something about you very specific that I love. She said that when you were in a sketch on SNL and it started to tank, we're all being
Yeah.
Always.
is that you would triple down. You would go
Yeah.
harder at it, like commit.
I'd either commit or slow it down. Yeah.
and just
I'd take
Quicksand.
longer pauses in between
to torture them.
lines to where the point Wally at Q card
Yeah.
would be pointing.
You have
So
more.
sometimes
He's
if the
shaking
cue
the car
card if the cue card guy thought you weren't seeing your line, they would point at it at the line.
frantically.
So I took like a 15-second pause before I delivered the next line. Wally's
Yeah. You're in blue. That's you.
but yeah, we would I had this perverse thing of like, okay, audience, you don't like it now, you're really not gonna
Yeah.
like it. I'm going to
that's
punish
not
you
kinda-
for hating this sketch even more.
That's
Most
a good
would
angle.
break out in a cold sweat. You had some kind of confidence. But I want to talk about when I first met you and I knew I would like you. Because you did something.
Yeah.
I was coming back hosting,
Right.
hey, watch
No,
out.
we
Hey,
were
kids,
all-
I had a couple nominations. How
We
are
were
you?
super nervous and
But you
thrilled.
came
Yeah.
up to me
Yeah.
and you had a shirt. You had a shirt with a zipper, I think, and you just got really close to me, right in my space, unzipped it, and this massively hairy chest, and just leaned in with a smile. Hi, I'm Will. It was just. I didn't quite. In real time, I realized, okay, he's doing shtick. But for a second, I thought, does this guy have spatial problems?
Does he just let him do his thing?
But he's leaning in,
He's
and that
leaning
zipper
in.
came down a little more, and then the
Couple
belly
squiggly
button.
hairs.
He wants you to
pop up.
get his scent, and then he'll
Yeah.
relax.
Musky.
Yeah.
But that was fun, and that was when we did Did I do Ross Perot and you did Larry King?
I
Because
did.
Lauren Michaels talked about that.
I did a fabulous Larry King.
Lauren Michaels
I
called
was like
you out.
so. Did,
As
really?
that sketch was great, and you were great as Larry King.
Oh, I was so terrible.
Was it
never
you
know.
hosted,
You-
Dana?
You were like, "Don't worry about it. I'm going to carry the whole thing."
Well, I had an ace in my pocket,
of course.
by the name of Ross Perot.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's the easiest
Yeah.
laugh I ever got in my life.
I was like, all I could do was like, "I'm Larry King. Here we are, Ross Perot. Ross Perot. What are you?" That's all I
I
could
think
do.
you carried it beautifully.
Oh, I
It
don't
was
know.
a precursor to Alex Trebek playing the sort of straight line.
Applause.
That was
Oh.
good.
People know your cues.
But being funny with the straight line, But anyway, that was fun.
But I think we did Bush and Bush Jr. with the. I had the antlers. I kept banging the antlers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so I'm doing George Sr., who's 6'4", and W's 5'11". So I had Herman Munster shoes like to here, and they patted me up. He's coming in as my little baby son, basically. So at one point, Will plops on my lap.
Yeah.
Here you are, son. How are you?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you play it back on
And
YouTube, you hear me go, "Ugh."
We're on a deer hunt or something.
Oh,
We're hunting
then I
deer
tried to. Yeah, there was
because
another
I'm rattling the antlers
another
together.
time we were out hunting, and I
Oh,
told
okay.
you to go out.
so that
and it was
I would get taken care of.
yeah, it was clear.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
keep going into the woods, keep
It was,
walking, and then Daddy.
it was of mice and men
Daddy.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I played Ross Perot in a rehearsal.
He was in the wide shot.
I was in a wide shot as Ross Perot.
the
Do you know
most.
the
Do you remember
story?
playing Woody Allen?
You know,
Do you remember we did a sketch where you
Was it
you
the
were
Woody Allen?
Yeah, you did Woody Allen.
was
I
it
think-
the Woody Allen in a classroom scene with Seinfeld or Jason Alexander? Or was I just playing him in something?
I think you were just playing him.
Did you do?
I don't even mean to be didactic or facetious, but Andre Previn. Yeah,
Because I
think
was playing the actor who was his buddy. I forget which film. It would just go Max.
Max.
Max, you're
Oh,
crazy,
yeah,
Max.
yeah.
With a
Maybe
cigar.
It was some Smigel sketch.
I did it
so
once
fucking
with
funny.
a cold opening where
Max.
Rob Schneider was playing Soon Yi.
Yeah.
And I can't. I know.
Yeah.
It was the early 90s.
Yeah.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
come out.
I'm going to do a citizens cancel.
I come out live, and there's no Rob Schneider playing Soon Yi. And the cue card guy's going like
Live.
this. And I'm like, I can't even, she's not even here. I don't know what I'm going to do, because I can't. So I had to just do that
He's
for
in the
30
he's
seconds.
in makeup still.
He was in the makeup chair. Sorry about that. I didn't know. Woody, I'm sorry. I
I
can't
thought it was
help
Gap Girls.
Sorry. Go ahead. We do a lot of characters on the show.
Yeah. No, but when I came back to host, Will, no applause. When I came, I'm just saying.
No.
You
They're-
pick
they're-
your spots.
They're hanging on your every
Every
word.
word.
Yeah.
When
they're
I
good
came back,
listeners. That's
all-
why.
all I
They're really good
remember-
listeners.
All I remember was, I think there was an army sketch, and then you had a hard brim hat. Do you remember the idea of this sketch? And then when you came up to me in air, you were poking me in the face with your
right.
hat brim.
Sensitive.
Stephen Cragg wrote that sketch.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It was
What was the story you were?
A
Dana, you
sensitive
said-
drill
sergeant.
sergeant.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
but I barked out all the
Yeah.
commands, but it was all loving,
Yeah.
therapeutic
That's right.
advice. Yes.
And then when you got up to me, you hit me in the forehead with your, and of course it threw me. It was like an old what Farley used to do, just start to make you laugh on air. But it was really just fun being in a sketch with you, because when I did my year where I stayed too long, is what we're calling it now. I had my own 5 minutes, and then I didn't do sketches, so I felt a little weird because you guys were doing stuff. So we weren't super connected, but I would like to see you guys and stuff. But coming back to host, we were all part of it. That was fun because the whole thing I remember hosting was that one sketch with him. And because, some work, some don't, obviously.
Right.
And I think that one is where, when I hosted, Sandler was going to be in my monologue. Remember he did audience member? Oh, what are you doing? You're so mean. He would stand up, and so we had a whole monologue that.
What are you doing?
No, he was like a very timid guy with glasses and called audience member. And then he had done it a few times, and so he's doing it when I host. And then that morning, Waterboy opened or something. He had to fly back to LA, and then they go, Lauren goes, well, it looks like Adam's out. I go, out of the monologue? Well, out of the monologue. And he goes, well, aren't you a stand-up? And I go, I mean, sort of. I don't really do it anymore. I work at this fucking dump. 20,000 hours a week. I haven't done a set in 8 months. And he goes, maybe just 7 minutes. That's all you need. I go, yeah, but I need it polished. I can't run to a comedy store. I can't run anywhere. So I put together, I don't know how we got
It sounds like a fun challenge.
It was a challenge. And it was, I did a bit about a polar bear and I did a bit about something else, but it was kind of fun and terrifying. And then I remember your sketch. So
Thus,
that was great doing it with you. That's all.
every moment of SNL, fun and terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very scary. Do you remember, have you ever said no to a Tuesday dinner at Orso with the host?
With host and
I think I finally because I remember you guys talking about this in one of the podcasts that you finally work up enough courage
Yeah.
to say no. But I think it took,
yeah.
because I remember you saying, Dana, you saying
so
that
ridiculously
it took you
true.
5 seasons before it felt like it was like your home gym or before you stopped.
Yeah.
And I literally remember your words. It literally took me 5 years before I didn't feel nervous every single second. And
You had the same experience.
same experience. And so by year 6 and 7,
Yeah.
I think I finally had the guts to be like, I'm not going on a Tuesday.
Usually
It's like the
there's
worst-
a Tuesday
Well,
dinner.
by
with
then
the
I
host.
think somewhere you went to this other gear. I don't know when it happened, but
You got good. I think it was the last week.
The last
you were
week
there.
of my
Yeah. your last show.
my last
was epic.
show.
Cowbell, and then
I
I
was
think
like-
you left right after Cowbell, right?
Every best of sketches in my last show of the 7th season.
I heard cowbell.
I was on fire. I
You
don't know what
asked them
happened.
to
So
do
were
bike
you
bell.
nervous then? Because Bill Hader told us that he was having panic attacks the whole time. I never was able to see it, like literally
Yeah.
panic attacks in the bathroom by himself, crying. But you controlled it. But were you
I never
breaking out?
got that bad, but there was just, it got less and less with each year.
Yeah.
But it would always surprise me, especially after that first year where you're like, okay, I think I've gone through everything you're going to go through where you potentially are going to get thrown.
Yeah.
It would just come out of the blue
Yeah.
where it would be, I don't know, it wouldn't even be like the first show of the season. It'd be something like the 7th show. It's like, I don't have a good feeling. This is not going to be good.
It's an
And
anxiety.
it would just
cooker.
come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then it'd be fine the rest of the year. But it's inexplicable.
It's two things happen, I think. There's people like Eddie Murphy, who was a savant,
Yeah.
basically at 19. But I think for most people, you get a little more confident, and then the audience starts to see you. And then you get a little more confident.
Right.
And then finally, when the audience sees you come out, they're kind of excited.
Yeah.
And then it builds on it. I've seen it happen with a lot of
Yeah.
cast members over
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's why Lauren says well, with me, I was newer, but like a feature player, but do a few lines here, a few lines there, just to get them to see your face and know you're part of the situation. So then they know, okay, he's one of these guys, and then they will buy you when you do a full sketch. But you were one of the ones that, like Dana, where you came out and you had to be were you a full cast member when you started?
Well, we were really lucky because that year before
Yeah. Got rid of all that
was
dead
when
weight.
they got rid of the dead
Farley
weight.
Sandler.
Farley Sandler.
Get rid of him.
Cleaning out the dead wood.
Myers, this clown. over
Myers,
here.
Dana,
Yeah.
He's good.
Phil
Spade-
Hartman.
Spade
Boo.
I was hanging onto the door like Titanic.
John
Just-
Lovitz.
Yeah.
So then
fumigate the place
so
and
you were
start
a-
over. So we had eight
Yeah,
brand new
it's clean.
cast members and a brand new writing staff.
Very weird.
So we didn't know any better. We were like, it wasn't that, because I've talked to past cast members who were added one at a time, like by themselves, and that's super
Or mid-season. That's a very
mid-season
tough
to
one,
try to
too.
break through that way. In fact, Molly was mid-season the year before I got there,
Oh, she was there. Okay.
and we were laughing because she was like, what is this? You guys get like cue card training and you get shown where here's the wardrobe department. Here's your quick change area. I didn't get any of that. My God.
Yeah.
And she was just laughing, going, she was like, I was a little mad actually. You guys did you get trained on the cue? Do you remember anything like that?
No one even talked to
Just
us.
terror. I mean, my thing was freaky because in the first show I was in the cold opening and I didn't know it was the cold opening. I was just in it. I knew it was my first time doing sketch comedy. It was hard for me not to look at the audience like a stand-up.
Yeah.
You know? And then the church lady popped and came in and I had Sigourney Weaver and Phil and Jan. And so then that took off.
Crazy.
So I was just boiled in water immediately. And then chopped broccoli.
But chopping broccoli.
Chopped broccoli.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That was my first show.
That's your first show?
Yeah.
Oh my God. The cutaway to Phil, by the way,
Oh, yeah.
just him and Joe, everyone just going, this is the worst song ever. And then Phil Hartman just going, yes.
Phil Hartman, I'll give you
Hartman.
as great a compliment as I can. You
Yeah.
remind me of a lot of people, Peter Sellers, and you also remind me of Phil.
Well, thanks.
Because you were Alex Trebek. That would have been what Phil would have played that character.
Phil Hartman and Dan Aykroyd were like my guys
Yes.
I looked up to. 'Cause I just loved how they could swim. They could be the main guy or be the background guy.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved about ensemble comedy.
Yeah.
you know?
And everyone who knows them both just said they're kind of scientist comedians. They
Yeah.
would Phil would read, books about Evan Root motorboats on the set and then pick up a script, kill it in the rehearsal, come back. And Aykroyd's the same way. He's interested
Phil
in
Hartman
science and astronomy.
Came to host when we were, I don't know if it was that first year or the second year.
Really?
He comes back to host and I'm in the room. I think it was with Tom Giannis and Adam McKay and Keckner. And I just can't, I don't know what to say to him. So I'm just sitting in the chair and I'm just like, that's Phil Hartman. And he finally picks up on it. He's like, what gives with the Farrell kid?
What
Cat
gives?
got your tongue? It was like, do I walk out of the room? I was like, no, I just what these guys said. Let's just, I mean, I'm writing the thing that they're gonna write for you too. And but he was just, what a great,
there was
He's a
just something
powerhouse.
about him, and he
Yeah.
was so effortless, and he didn't care, and he was so unassuming about it.
Yeah.
And that's why we nicknamed him the Glue. He was
Yeah.
just somebody who was always there.
But God, he picked up on the fact that I wouldn't,
Yeah.
I couldn't speak. Yeah.
God,
couldn't
that's
speak
so
around him.
interesting because now we have data of where you went and
Completely.
where you're still going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to hear this stuff,
I feel
that's
like it
very
kind of-
human. Yeah.
Stopped.
Do you remember-
Stop!
do you remember when I ran?
stopped.
Do you remember when I ran
know
into
I
you at
ran.
the
You
Laker
don't even
game?
say it.
I hadn't seen you in a while. I run into you at the Laker game. You're like, oh, hey, Will, hey, sorry about the career.
I can't even hide my jealous rage.
Yeah. You're like, hey, by the way, good to see you. Sorry about the career.
Yeah, sorry everything went up on a fucking rocket ship. No, because the first time I saw you was at Butterfield and Butterfield.
Oh,
Yeah, you heard me.
oh man. No,
He
you
worked
did-
at an auction house that is Christie's now, I think, on Sunset.
think-
I was buying
think it's
Elvis
Bonham's,
memorabilia. And I took my
Oh, Elvis's
gross
credit card.
new money,
Yeah.
and I bought an Elvis set list. Joey Esposito, who is Elvis, is one of his buddies, was there authenticating stuff. I got a set list that he wrote out his handwriting, and I loved Elvis. I bought one of his guns, and then I bought and then his watch.
Heat.
And I thought it was cool as shit. And then you worked there,
Yeah.
and then I had my Land Cruiser, which I still have tonight, and you walked me out, and that's where I met you. And then when I saw you at SNL, I think we remembered that you worked there, right? You did
Oh
work
my
there.
God. Yeah, no, I worked there,
Yeah.
and my then good friend,
And that was the
Vivica,
last time I was funnier
and
than
later
you.
my wife worked
And
there too.
oh yeah, she worked
Yeah.
there. Oh,
Vivica
that's
was
right.
the-
yeah.
She was the auctioneer.
Oh,
She
hey
probably
bada, hey
auctioned
bada, yeah.
Oh, exactly like that.
Hey bada, hey bada.
Can you yell out a number? You keep saying, hey, better, hey, better. We can't follow the bidding.
But it was interesting seeing you there, and then obviously we joke around, but the monster movies after that. I mean, we could talk about SNL because I was going to ask you before we get to all these movies. What was your favorite commercial parody you were in? Do you remember commercial parodies? Did you do a lot or not?
Yeah, I didn't. I was a little bit bummed. But when I first started, I don't think I was in any of those initial commercial
Yeah.
parodies. And
Usually it was sort of like jury duty because it takes you away from the show a little bit because you have to dedicate a full day to shooting it during the week. And now they do a lot of pre-tapes during the week.
yeah,
You see the host in a lot of, I mean, they beat the shit out of them.
but you'd
at 6
come
a.m.
sometime in September to start.
You can go do them early? Oh, yeah.
you'd
we
go do
didn't-
them early.
I don't know if we
right,
did
before
that.
that first show.
Yeah.
And,
I wasn't in many
You
of them. I
knock
think-
out one or two. Yeah.
One thing I'm just quickly very interested in because you think everyone knows everything about you, but what was that transition from USC to the Groundlings, and then how long at the Groundlings till you got on SNL? How fast did you get on SNL from when you started trying to be a comedian?
I graduated SC in '90. Moved home immediately, which was great.
Back to Orange County.
Back to Orange County.
Okay, good move.
Everyone was super psyched.
So that's
about
in
that.
1990.
Yeah. That was
I'm back,
1990. And
I'm back, Dad.
yeah, I'm back.
Thanks for the education.
Yeah, thanks for the degree. And I then was going to try to be a sportscaster. That's what I studied at SC.
Mm-hmm.
I was going, but at the same time, I thought, I better try this comedy thing
Give it a shot.
if I'm gonna give it a shot.
Because
So
that was from a childhood sort of
I was just
inkling,
always-
prankster and all
yeah,
that.
always liking it, but too afraid to try it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I started taking classes at the Groundlings, trying some stand-up comedy.
Mhm.
Pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Did you ever play the Cannery down in Newport? Or the San Juan
No.
Depot where an actual train goes through your set?
While
I
you're
did like more
performing,
While you're
official
performing?
comedy
had
clubs.
that, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think I was in
You're
that
like
club.
Shakey's. off
Nino's
the
in
freeway.
Long Beach, an Italian restaurant.
I did not.
Yeah.
All the big spots.
I did.
Yeah. Sir Laughs a Lot in
Oh.
Glendale.
Gutbusters.
Yeah. The Rib Tickler
the
in
Rib Tick-
Minneapolis I played. That's real.
But I was doing some stand up. I was
Yeah.
doing and Groundlings. You work your way through this school,
Yeah.
but the courses are so booked up. You'll finish one level and you got to wait 6 months before the next one opens up. So then I was just back at working odd jobs. I was a bank teller. I was
And this is in 91,
91, 92.
You're still doing odd jobs.
And then I think 93, I get into the main company
Mm-hmm.
or the Sunday company at the Groundlings. which
Did
is
you
like
have
the
a character
team.
that you had developed at that point that got you to that? Was Harry Carey around? Or?
Harry Carey was in the main company. Yeah.
Okay.
So the Sunday show's like their B team,
Yeah.
like their minor league team, and then you get into the main company, and that's when Get Off the Shed sketch I had done, and I started doing Harry Carey. That was during the baseball strike one year.
Inspired character.
And I thought, baseball. There's no baseball games right now. Wonder what Harry Carey's doing with, with his days. I thought it'd be funny. I should set him in like an acting class doing a play reading of a super dramatic play.
Perfect.
And so I wrote this sketch about Harry in a community theater rehearsal space. And, I was like, okay, let's take the scene from the top and,
Right.
and then it was Harry Carey doing like, damn it, Carol, what happened to us? I look in your eyes and I don't see love anymore. And then
You disappear. I literally, your face from this
Yeah, that's
angle.
funny.
I didn't see Will
And-
for a second. That was
I remember Maggie Baird, who was she played my wife, but the other act they had to play. I said, you guys have to play it really like if you can
Yeah.
make yourself cry, do it. So they're reading the lines like, I don't know, we're distant, and she's like getting herself to cry, and then I'm playing off of that.
Perfect.
It was madness, but the audience, I knew it was working when the audience was laughing without any knowledge of who Harry Carey was. They'd just be like,
Yeah.
who's that crazy guy you do with
Yeah. They just sounds funny.
But so I'd done that, and by that spring of '95, that was when we had heard SNL's looking to recast. So
And
It was pretty fast. It was like 2 years.
Did you have anybody in a position of authority, a mentor, or someone at the Groundlings, or someone who pulled you aside at one point, said, "I think you really can do this," or
It was a really supportive. I mean,
was everyone sort of giving you feedback?
Was
a
it
little
more
bit?
supportive than SNL?
well, I would say typically yes, but the group we had at the show,
Yeah,
we were kind of like
you
our
got kinda
backs-
lucky.
We got
Yeah.
lucky. Our
Who was
backs
in that group?
That would have been Molly and myself.
Chris Kattan.
Chris Kattan came later.
Mm-hmm.
Anna Gessner.
Anna came the next year. Sherry,
Oh,
Sherry O'Terry.
weren't you?
Norm was doing
Ah,
Tim
really?
Meadows.
Ah.
So
Tim, Jim Brewer.
wow. So
Nancy
everyone went
Walls.
on from there.
Keckner.
Steve Carell's wife,
Yeah.
Nancy
Oh,
Walls, who was
Nancy
on
Walls,
SNL.
yeah.
And it was a lot of people who'd done sketch comedy. So
Mhm.
everyone was just kind of like pulling for each other in
Yeah,
a
it
very
seems like that
un
would be
SNL
more-
way because we
Right.
knew like, ooh, the show's about to get canceled. Not to mention everyone in network television saw there was blood in the water. So we had to go up. Mad TV premiered.
Oh yeah, they're coming
Howard
for you.
Stern had a sketch comedy show.
Oh, really? Your first year, all that was on.
Um,
Funny.
But I think you did your show
In
that-
'96,
Oh.
yeah.
that first.
Yeah,
Oh, that was
can't-
prime time.
It
though.
made half an episode. They pulled us out.
But you guys doing it on a Friday
During the
night?
show.
Maybe.
I wouldn't. I think
interrupt
no. It
this
was right
program.
after
Yeah.
Spin City or Home Improvement.
And there
It
was a
like-
fourth. There was
Yeah.
a fourth. There was 4 or 5 different sketch comedy
Yeah,
shows
in
that whole
yeah.
year.
And In Living Color might have still been on.
Maybe,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, the state maybe.
So anyway, so we
Well-
were like actually pulling for each
sort
other.
of friendly. Was cheerleaders that first year?
It was that first year.
So you
Yeah.
had a couple that
Yeah.
really worked. So there was no danger. No. There was.
Don't ruin the flow.
You're getting
Don't
it
ruin the
wrong.
flow.
When I say my stuff,
Yeah.
No.
no, but cheerleaders must have. I think it crushed from immediately, and then you did it a few times that year. So you were in no danger of feeling down deep. You might get fired or anything. You were doing well enough that first year to go. I'm pretty solid.
Except they did a thing where I think we were signed for the first 9 shows and then
Oh,
picked
and a
up.
pickup.
Oh,
Ooh,
pickup.
gross.
But then
Mm.
it
what
was a
happened?
gross pickup.
It's. I mean, it's just.
But then they, dare I say, they broke the contract and they said, "Nope, you're just picked up. You're picked up for just 5 more shows,
Wow.
and
Oh,
then we'll
good
see if you're
God.
picked up for the last 5."
This is your first season.
First
Just
season.
getting these little pickups.
That's what happens when I date girls. They pick me up for 2 more dates, and then they go, "We'll see how it goes after that." I'm sorry.
You don't have to laugh.
No, you don't have to.
It's all right.
They thought you said it, so
Yeah.
they started laughing.
Yeah.
No,
He's being
you.
vulnerable.
So, but
go
it was
ahead. Yeah.
still
So
it was still harrowing.
It's by the way,
Yeah.
I don't think you're ever relaxed there, going, "I got it made here." So I don't think that's ever a feeling if you're new, even if you're
Except
doing great.
those last couple seasons.
Yeah,
I really
at the
felt
end.
like
right.
it was
But
good.
you're
But I did have
yeah.
a fantastic. So when
That first
arbitrarily my last year, when I just decided that would be my last year,
season. Yeah,
for no good
seventh
reason.
season
Yeah.
or whatever.
just felt like
Mm-hmm.
the right amount of time. Lauren took me to dinner to talk me into staying.
Chili's.
Mm-hmm.
Houston's
I can get us in. I can do
can do-
Hillstone.
Houston's at 9:30. Does that work?
We after the rush.
Yeah.
These dinners are very interesting. So, Will,
I
you're going to
think-
stay. That's how he does it sometimes. You'll stay another 2 years.
Oh yeah, I just tell you.
He'll
No.
tell you what's going to happen.
I think it was at Pastis.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
but how
Uh-huh.
awkward because you want to say no, you want to leave, right?
Well,
Well, you'd already filmed
I'd already-
Old School, but we'll get to that, right? During the,
yeah, that was in the can.
That was in the can.
That was in the can, but
Okay.
no one knew.
you didn't know where it was.
That was in the can. That's a term
It's in
for
the can,
it's
meaning-
been filmed,
Yes.
it's edited, but they haven't shown it
because they
yet.
used to have celluloid.
Wait, you
was
did
in the
that? You
can.
did that in the summer, and then you came back into SNL.
I think I did it partly through
Oh,
part
okay.
of that, the fall of that 7th season.
Okay.
So how did
But
Lauren pitch you? Go
Lauren
ahead.
said the most. He said, "So, I understand you're thinking about leaving, and I would just suggest this: you're at a high point right now, but you want to start just to begin to dip, and then you should leave." And I was like, but Lauren, that seems counterintuitive. Like, and then
Work for John Lovitz.
when Lauren doesn't really want to hear an answer, he always goes, just think about it.
Yeah.
And so
No,
I'm
no,
like,
no,
yeah,
no, 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 no. Just think about it.
Think
It's
about it.
that
I'm like,
trajectory.
I'm
you
going
go
to draw
down
the
and then you
chart
leave.
on a napkin.
Yeah.
And I
High
remember,
point?
I'm going, yeah, let me just think about waiting for me to dip and then leaving. I will think about that.
And you just said, I'll think about it.
And then we never talked about it ever again.
But
So-
it seems like, you did Molly's movie. You did you did the movie with Chris, and you were kind of, and then you'd done Cowbell and everything else. It seemed like your timing was impeccable. I mean, you were ready, but you could have
think
killed
so.
for 3 more years in the show.
Yeah.
If you wanted
would've-
to.
I mean, if anyone had put a showbiz gun to my head and said, this is all you get to do, I would have said, great.
Yeah.
It was the hardest, most fun job I've ever done.
Most exhilarating,
Yeah.
bizarre.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
I
had
couldn't hear you. Did someone put a gun to your head?
Someone put a gun, one of Elvis's old guns,
Oh, God damn.
bought at
Yeah.
auction to my head.
Don't
Whoa.
use mine right back on
Comes
me.
around, comes around.
This crowd does not know what to do
I think
because
I was in a dark nightclub in Scottsdale,
where I'm from.
Camelback and 54th.
Yeah. When you did, so in the summers, you did, that's what we would try to do as a movie in the summer. So you
Right.
did, what was the first one? Was it Superstar? No, were you in Superstar?
I was in The first one was,
Superstar.
Or was it Roxbury?
I think the first one was Roxbury.
I heard the original title was called A Day at the Roxbury. Then you go, maybe Night.
We're doing Bury this month.
Is there any way you could still
Instead of Roxbury,
shake your neck like that or no? It's too hard.
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I remember
Don't try.
what the motion was. It was. It
Oh,
was,
man, yeah. Is this love?
If I did it now, I would just hold my head still and go. Try to trick the audience.
Like a little cardboard cutout.
Actually, that's a sketch Catan and I would do at the Growlings.
Oh, you brought it in.
Brought it.
So we brought that in, but there were
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
for the audience, if they don't know, but we say it sometimes, when you come on, when I was there, you would say what sketches you had when you came in or what characters,
right.
and then you own them, even if you did them on the show. I think Mike owned Wayne's World. And then
Not sure.
I was just... No, I don't know. Is
No,
that
they
true?
were pretty tricky about that. I don't know. We'll own it even if we don't own it.
Maybe 50-50. And then whatever you came up with in the writer's room, they own, right? Is that how it
Yeah,
worked? Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you came in with that, and then I think it's more incentivizing if you would think if it was a sketch they owned, because Lauren was doing a lot of sketches for a while. Like even Tommy Boy was sort of us at the office based on
What was that movie?
you guys.
What was Tommy Boy about?
I get the top of the hand.
On
and
top
then,
of the,
woo! And then Wayne's World. And,
let's get some box office numbers out here. Roxbury versus Tommy
No,
Boy.
Tommy Boy.
Okay? Let's
Tommy
see
Boy
who's
was-
pulling
I think
coin down.
We weren't a big hit though. We weren't.
Roxbury maybe made 30.
We made probably 35. We barely.
Really?
Yeah, Wayne's World was the big hit. Yeah.
I thought Tommy Boy made like 50.
No, it just made. It
What about
just sort
Black
of-
Sheep?
What about what?
Black Sheep.
Black Sheep made about the same.
Oh.
But they sort of did better in as it went on, like on video. But
Yeah.
but some movies like that, in hindsight, you probably thought they made more, but it didn't. It opened number 1, and so did Black Sheep, but it wasn't like a huge killing. But it just sort of resonated over time, which helps because a lot of them do better,
Yeah,
and then they don't
exactly.
resonate. You know how it is. You got
Have
a
the
lot of movies.
Life on
Actually, all
DVD and
yours did well, but
cable.
to other people,
Not really.
DVDs are huge.
what
yeah,
was your
DVDs
biggest
are coming
bomb?
back, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
Live
talk-
streaming is
Let's
so
find one that didn't
over.
work.
Let's get some hardware going. I want to put it in
No.
a slot.
No, it was like I remember Walmart said every time people throw in Tommy Boy or Joe Dirt when they come by in the aisle, and it doesn't go down every week. They get the same amount of people. Just go, just throw it in. So that made money, I guess, for them, but not really me. But I like those ones that kind of live on. There's not that many, but when you came out, so Old School was such a monster.
Well-
was your idea to be naked and streak because you did that before, or
There's
It
always
seems
You
to
wanted to
me
treat
that
America.
you got a comfort level of using your body,
Yeah.
in a very funny way.
I had a comfort level. Yeah, I had.
you would streak in college, right? Or is that made up?
I had. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had. My dad's in the audience tonight. Dad,
oh yeah, you're trying to overthink your answers.
I streaked in college, Dad.
Your dad is out there right here on our audience, Mr.
yeah.
But yeah, I was always. That was the thing I loved about Chris Farley. I just
Chris
remember.
would do it
I remember
too.
thinking, okay, I'm going to meet people that are just as funny as me and people that are much funnier than me. But they won't be able to outcommit me. It was like my promise to
You were a
myself.
committer.
You
Yeah.
fulfilled that
So-
promise. I don't think
So-
anyone committed harder.
I had no problem taking my shirt off during sketches and things like that. But I do remember reading the script for Old School and reading that joke, and there's sometimes a disconnect that you read it and you go,
Running
oh,
naked.
that'll be funny, until the day you actually have to
And it's at
perform
night.
it.
and you come
and
out of
you're
your
like,
trailer. What are you wearing? A robe, or what?
right.
How do you
I
come out of your
agreed
trailer?
to shoot this? And we
Little
were
marble
shooting.
bag?
Will,
Yeah,
it's
little,
time for the run down the street.
little marble sack,
yeah.
as they say in the industry.
Yeah.
We shot it here in Montrose. Anyone from Montrose here tonight?
I've only heard about
Anyone
that on
remembers
weather
the
reports.
band Montrose?
But yeah, we shot that right out here near Altadena, and I just remember we were shooting in front of a bunch of storefronts, and there was like a local health club, and there was all these yuppie people working out, getting their power walking in, and I said to the PA, like, has anyone told them what's about to happen? Because I'm in the robe and I got the marble sack attached to the crucial area, and does anyone know I'm about to drop the robe? And like, do we want to tell? And, some kid on a headset, like, what? Huh?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We want to get real reactions.
Okay, back to one. I think that we're going to film it now. We're ready. That first take, I'm running. And I'm trying to call, I'm like, honey, we're all going straight. I'm hearing off in the distance through the window of the health club, oh my God. oh. Hey.
So many pubes.
And then we shoot it, we cut, we reset,
Another take.
He's not going to do
another
it again.
take. There's like one old guy in there still power walking.
Extra.
And by the third take, health club totally cleared out. No one wanted to watch me run naked down the street.
How many takes?
It was probably more than we needed.
Camera from behind and
From
front-
behind.
Crane shot.
Got to
shot.
bring in the Super 50 Techno.
Yeah.
Side shot,
Yeah.
and then camera in the car where I go in butt first to sit down. So yeah, bunch of
Dana,
takes.
I know this is supposed to be about Will.
I remember
Bunch
that
of
movie.
Dana,
Funny as
Will, can
hell.
I tell you one embarrassing
Yeah.
story?
Oh, here we
Just
go.
remind me
Take a
of
walk.
I have to move for this. It's not worth it at all. But we'll take it out later. So this is embarrassing because one movie I did called Warning Shot. It was sort of a drama, and there was Thank you.
Warning shot. That's when you played the kingpin, right?
Oh yeah, I was a bad
The
guy.
drug lord.
So I was a drug lord. Dana, I knew you'd see the trailer. So
You sent it to me.
So there's Dana. We're taking this all out anyway. It doesn't
It's
matter.
all
Say
being
whatever you
edited.
I got to watch Warning Shot now.
So, we'll watch it on the plane.
wanna
So
put it in my notes.
Here I am, and you got it
Warning
down for
shot.
sure.
Warning Shot.
Warning Shot.
Okay.
And I don't want to give the whole thing away because everyone's going to run home and watch it.
directed Warning Shot?
I don't know if we had a director. I realized halfway through we were just all talking.
AI directed it.
So they said there's a part where I get squibs, lingo. So there's a gunfight.
You're gonna get shot.
So they have to
And it's the fake blood.
squib me up. So they
Yep.
put like little
Pepsi ACs on you that blow up. You know what I mean? Like whatever. But they have to, I don't know if it's electronically, they have to tape it to you.
Right.
And they actually it like makes a spark or something. So they,
small explosion.
right.
Yeah.
So they tape a couple here to my bird chest. But I'm at lunch eating a burrito. And then they go, hey, shooting after lunch. I go, okay. But like you, I don't even think about it. And then I go, oh, wait, I have to, this guy's coming in here. So the special effects guy's got like a ponytail, this kind
Always.
of guy. He comes in, hey.
And
it's like a sound guy that's in your face.
It's never their fault when it goes wrong.
Yeah. He goes, we're going to do these and you might feel a spark. And if there's a full fire, we'll address it then. And I go, okay.
Which means it's happened before.
Which means it's his first day.
Yeah.
So he goes, they just pulled me off this other thing. Home Depot? Yeah. So so he goes, okay. So he wires me up like shirt off, and then they go 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say. And then they tape them down, and now they stick them on, and now they have to go down my pant leg, and then, you know what I mean, like out the back, the wires. And then the guy has like a little blow-up plunger.
Yep.
So I have to put my pants on over that. So these are on here, and they go back like 6 feet to him, and he's like, got it. And then in my trailer, and then I delicately put my shirt on, and they go, ready for you. So I start to walk out, and he's following me, and then I start drifting off on the way to the set going, what are my lines, blah, blah, blah. Take that, dag nabbit, or whatever I'm saying. And
You were playing like a macho badass.
yeah, like I'm a tough guy.
right?
So this is the embarrassing. I'm drifting off, and then I go, and then 3 toots in a row, just to myself. I don't care. I'm just walking.
Yeah.
And then I hear behind me, hey, come on, man. I forgot he was 6
right
feet
behind you.
and
Oh.
already leaning over.
Hey, come on,
And
man.
because I'm first team, the worst thing you can say is, come on, man. He wanted to bust my fucking head open.
Oh,
And he goes, it's cool.
It's cool,
But it wasn't
yeah.
cool. It was so horrible.
Yeah.
I couldn't apologize, but I had to laugh so hard first because it was so uncool. And then
Yeah.
he's walking through. And then guess what? The squibs went wrong after that. Because
Squibs were a relief after that.
yeah, I just walk on the set. I go, "Are we ready?" And he's like, "Blam!" And I'm like, he's like, "Oh, early."
It's usually the indignant special effects person
Yeah.
who they get mad at you even though they didn't have it hooked up right.
Yeah.
And so filming A Night at the Roxbury, one of the gags was we're driving, we're doing the head thing.
Yeah.
And then Catan does it so hard he smashes his side,
Oh, the window.
his passenger side
Yeah.
window with his head.
Right.
And it explodes. But that's all squibbed up. So that's supposed to
Smash.
crack with the aid of technology.
Timing.
And
Wham, right when he touches it, bam.
Special effect guy, same guy.
Yeah.
He's waiting by the console. Going hot on effects.
Cool dialogue coming in hot. Yeah.
You're timing it out. You're rehearsing. How many head? Okay, we'll do it on the 5th one. And on the 5th one, Chris will go like this. So we're doing, what is that? And we're doing our thing. And Chris, 1, 2, 3, 4, whack! Side does nothing. The side
Doesn't break.
doesn't break at all. Guy comes in. It's like, it's all checked out or something. Wasn't plugged in. As if we're supposed to go, oh, great.
Yeah.
No problem.
Ah, fuck.
But Catan's got like a shiner. and-
Weld.
Yeah. Then he's like, do we trust him? Do we do it again?
He goes, "Are we doing it again?"
But they get so excited when they discover their issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
He's like, "It wasn't my fault. It wasn't plugged in." You're like, "That's
Yeah.
still
That's
your
still-
fault."
yeah, you
Well,
gotta-
isn't it funny? It wasn't plugged in.
Can you believe
Hysterical.
it? It wasn't plugged in.
Show business is difficult. That's all we're saying.
It did.
So you
But
go.
I do love the guy. Like, come on,
I love it.
Come on, man.
Oh, he just kind of.
Come on, man.
He did the harshest he could go is, "Hey, come on, man." Like, and then I was like, "Oh my God, he can't yell at me." It's so because he just
But we always found that with the effects guys on SNL that
Yeah.
like if you had a gag
You had
where
to
like
barf or something.
like please we need so much blood. It's supposed to be over the top
Right.
amount of blood.
Yeah.
You got it. It's going to be so much blood. Dressers will show like one spot. And you'd look over and the guy would be like, I don't know what happened. I'm sorry. I don't know.
You want more than that? You're like,
Yes.
yeah, I want the funny
We want
version of the blood.
The funny
yeah.
version and like then add 100% to that.
We did it with Alec Baldwin, and we were and Jay Moore. We were all like, every cop that came to the set goes. I think Phil comes up and he goes, "This is the sickest, most gruesome set I've ever seen car crash." And he throws up, and then he goes, Captain, what's going on?" Then he throws up, and it was just a joke of we all throw up, and like me and Jay, by the time we got there, we were newer and we had 2 lines, but the throw up wasn't working as well.
Wasn't
And it goes, it's same thing, up your leg, up a hose, and the guy in the back going, and then at rehearsal, we're like, guys, more, the same thing.
Yeah, please.
Funny throw up.
It
Like
can't be enough.
it goes everywhere and it's too much. No one's mad. It's too much is better. And I think by the time we did it, it was either a leaky faucet, it just barely, and you're like, and then it's funny because you're like,
It's just a little
because it's coming out of your
Spittle.
arm, so
Little
you have
spittle.
to act like you're barfing, and it goes like that.
Right. There's a
Spray my whole
tube and you
face.
go-
Spray.
yeah.
Funny.
Mm.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there right now.
No.
Yeah.
No, but
Do you have any other stories you'd like to share?
Yes.
Will?
That
were you an Anchorman? Because I didn't read everything.
no.
I know you were in.
No. I auditioned for it.
What was
but I
the
wasn't-
guy? Ron Flurgady?
Oh yeah,
or
was
is it
Burgundy?
Ron?
That wasn't something from SNL, right? That was something you thought of after.
That was after.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was after the show.
And was that one of your
Mm-hmm.
first? You left SNL. Was that one of your first?
Left
just
SNL.
starring in movies.
Old School
Old school.
Came
was-
out.
came out after I left
Crushed.
while we were filming. Yeah, so I left and I didn't really
Is that the one
I
where
had
you
Old School that
"You're
was filmed, but they held
crazy."
on to it, which is usually a bad sign. They
Right.
didn't release it until later. And then-
After Anchorman.
no.
Well,
Before.
So it was old school.
And then we were working on
Elf.
this script about an elf. that
Oh, Elf was
not-
back then.
That did.
That was not
Enough.
that needed a bunch of work. So when I
Right.
left the show, I didn't like have this stack of scripts waiting for me.
But holy
Right.
shit, to come
But-
out with those three,
But within
Old School,
3 or
Elf,
4
and
years,
Anchorman were the first
God
3 movies
damn.
I did after I left the
that's
show.
unreal. At Old School, you go.
quite a
You're
run."
crazy. Is that what you said?
That after the
When you get
trank
hit?
dart? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
hysterical.
Yeah.
So many parts of Old School were great. When Vince Vaughn goes, "Hey, you need some sand? I got a sand guy." Everything about Old School is funny. Love that one. Elf obviously was such a huge home run hit, and still to this day.
But
plays.
Elf was
Step Brothers.
that was a little scary only because I'd come off of SNL and Old School, known probably for doing more PG-13,
Right. Or
edgier
some
stuff.
Edgier stuff
Yeah,
on
yeah.
SNL. And then you're in a
and then I'm in this
Family film.
thing,
That's risky.
going, this could be it. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
just sitting around,
It's a big
running
swing.
around the streets of New York in yellow tights.
But your style, I guess I'd say, is you never wink and you commit
Right.
like
Yeah.
a dramatic actor.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of holds you up.
Well, Elf, all those
Thank
things.
you, Dana.
Yeah.
I also
Thank you.
I
Thank
say
you.
the same thing.
I like
you
to
haven't said
give
anything.
I
compliments.
said it
like that.
before you
You just
got
said-
here.
It's Dana.
You can do a trick that Kevin Nealon can do.
It's
You can lower your IQ just 20 points
right.
just with
Yeah.
your eyes. Very subtly. And it's genius, but every time we were doing Hans and Franz,
Yeah.
cocky idiots,
Yeah.
and we were talking and they go 5, 4, 3. I'd look at Kevin and he would his eyes would
That's what's-
just go really dumb. Like, yeah. And he could lower his IQ like 40 points, but you have that skill set of being able to just take IQ off with just something about your eyes. You
I
can
think
make
that's
it
good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You need
kind of
that.
like a guy. What was his name? Sounds Sellers.
Peter Sellers.
Yeah.
Peter Sellers. Kind of like that guy.
Pete Sell, I call him.
Yeah.
Pete Sellers.
Because you do have some symmetry with him. A lot of comedians want to claim Peter Sellers, but I do think you have something in, that
Thank you.
cocky idiot
Yeah.
character that that
Well,
also is very dry, extremely bizarre
That's
word packages
how
with a lot of physicality. Anyway, I've been researching you for
But
this
that's how I started thinking of the Ron Burgundy character, because I was watching footage of this news anchor who had been retired for 20 years, but he still talked like this.
Yeah.
And I walk through my local market and I'll be ordering, I'll be buying my groceries, and people will hear my voice and they'll ask me, were you in news? And I say, yes, I used to be. And I thought, who talks like that? Like what? You're not a news guy anymore. And I thought, oh, that's funny. Someone who never loses that
news-
affect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But all the stuff writing that, San Diego's funny,
Yeah.
casting it right. There's so many ways to do a movie wrong. Even if you have a funny character, like you got to get it directed well, written well, perform it well, edited. There's so many ways to ruin it along the way. And that's why sometimes you sign up for a movie, it just doesn't come out because there's so many
Yeah.
ways to mess it up.
Yeah.
But to have all those work all the way through is very, very tough to do. And Anchorman is one of those that just hit on all cylinders. And then the sequel, I was watching the fight scene from the sequel today. And it's so fucking
It's
funny where
insanity.
you're thinking of different
Yeah.
ways to have different news people, and then everyone's playing it as funny, and they keep coming in their different groups. All that was funny, and topping the first one was hard, but you did that with that. And then
Also, 2 days with Kanye West.
I figured out that was Kanye. I'm like,
Kanye made this cameo, but he filmed his thing and then he just hung out the next
I just
day
stayed, yeah.
playing Yeezus for us over and over again.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Whether you wanted to hear it
Oh,
or
yeah.
not. Yeah.
That's demo jail.
Yeah. It was wild.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny. I used to be, whatever. I had a guy
Yeah.
like that, and he would play his album over and over
Yeah.
in the car, and then in
And
the
then
house.
you didn't want to say, no, you already played it for me. But I'll listen to it again.
Give you another
Yeah.
shot at
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was funny because I saw Kanye. I was like, oh my God, is that Kanye? Like, was he around back then? I guess he was. He
Yeah.
must have been pretty new.
No, it was
Yeah, he was pretty old, I think.
One or
It's
the
right in the
other.
middle.
Whatever it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever the
yeah,
answer is.
yeah.
But so,
you're
Anchorman.
you're also
crunched
your
it.
bandmates on that, which you've worked with a lot.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd,
Yeah.
who's awesome, obviously.
Yeah.
Steve Carell.
Carell and
Carell's so funny.
Carell
His
got a
character
great
was
funny
so
part. Yeah.
bizarre.
Keckner. Yeah, it was a great group.
Keckner.
And McKay, who we'd met at SNL, and
Oh,
so
right,
it was a.
You guys just
we
really knew what you were doing.
We
on that
just
one.
felt like we were playing with the house's money,
Yeah.
and DreamWorks had said no to it initially, and then
Yeah,
later
it
came
was so
back,
bizarre.
and
Oh, really?
yeah, they had a bunch of people had passed on it. I think we had 10 or 15 different financiers or studios pass on
Really?
it in one day. It was great.
Oh,
it was
that-
a great day.
That's a horrible.
Just McKay and I calling. Did you hear about this one? Yeah, that's a pass. Okay, good.
But you go
I'll call you when I hear
excitedly
another
pitch it
pass.
to everyone, and then
Yeah,
you just
it
hear
was-
pass.
You just hear the call should be coming in. Pass.
Oh
pass,
my
pass.
God, that's sickening.
And
Because
then
it
it-
almost doesn't ever work after that. If one
Yeah.
passes, it gets like a stink to it.
Yeah.
Like the other one's here,
Yeah.
and they go, oh, something's bad about it. Oh, we don't want it
Yeah.
either. So you do that. Is
So
it
once
what
we
happened?
started
Elf came
making
out
it-
or something, and they go,
Uh,
oh, well, we'll risk it now.
No, it was old school.
Old school, oh.
came out, and they thought, oh, wait, we have this other script with him. Now
We should
That's
do
how
something
now
with
we
him.
like it.
Oh,
now
yeah,
we
yeah.
like it.
Hey, that made
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Let's do
Now-
a chart, and then
we
what
take it back. We take it back. We like the thing about the newscasters.
That thing.
But we were trying. They just couldn't wrap their heads around it that it'd be funny. And I was trying to say it's kind of what Austin Powers will be to the spy genre.
Yeah.
It's like.
Mhm.
But anyway, so when we finally got to make it,
Mm.
we were like, let's just hurry. Let's just shoot because they may shut us down
Yeah.
at any point.
When movies do the best, feel like that's, and then it was one of those where I'm guessing, the last couple takes, do whatever you want. Just keep doing
Oh, my
shit.
God.
Just act stupider and stupider. And then someone's got to pick the one
Yeah.
that you live with forever. But then you go, God, there was 5 other ones that were just as ridiculous.
Did you ride that way? I mean, because were you on 35 millimeter film in the 90s, and then you get on the Anchorman set or whatever, and you got digital for the first time, or no? When did digital come in?
Not till Anchorman 2. Yeah.
Oh,
all
because
that
then
stuff
you
was
could
filmed.
improvise for 20 minutes.
But we would we would do it anyway. And just run out of
because it's expensive.
Right,
But you
yeah.
just okay.
And but yeah, we would just go until we heard that film run out, and go to the line producer and just say, you got to, can you give us cover here? We just need more film stock. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
And luckily, the studios usually, once you got going, they were okay.
Or they see the dailies, they know something's happening. Yeah. And Talladega Nights is another monster. So that one, no questions. Just wanted you to get the applause.
Yeah. No.
And
Blades of
and
Glory.
Riley, was that one of the first with Riley, or he was also in? I saw.
No. So John did the table read for Anchorman, and we really wanted him to be in it, and he was doing. He had to go do Gangs of New York or something, some
bullshit.
bullshit Scorsese thing, and I'm out here, priest.
So, but it's good you guys wound up in that. Oh, and Step Brothers. So you guys round up in those, and
So these are consistent, successful comedies, which isn't easy.
Very, very
One
hard
after
to
the
do.
other.
Yeah, it's been
Big hits.
It's been good, which is why it's just fun to use your guys' podcast to announce my retirement.
Yeah.
And so
Should we be honored?
Do you
or-
feel like you're hogging all the good movies or something?
give
Give someone else a chance.
Yeah, I want to let. Yeah. I want to do. We should do a remake of. I've already forgotten it.
the farty blood guy
Warning Shot.
character?
Warning Shart.
Warning Shart.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
joke. I didn't. Yeah. Warning Shart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
do
mean,
a shot-for-shot remake of Warning Shot.
we could
Yeah.
put a little more money, get a director.
get that same
We'll get a
effects guy.
director.
have a
Yeah,
few
the
laughs.
effects guy.
That guy's still around.
You ever have the sound guy get in your face? Hey man, we're just gonna wire you up here. I'm like, sir, I got it. They're like, it's gonna go right down your
A
pants,
lot of problems.
go up your
Are you
butthole,
okay?
and I'm like,
Take
where does it
this.
need to go?
You
you
want
have
an
a boom
you want a
mic?
waist? Do you want an ankle? What do you want?
What do you want?
this
You
around
want
your
ankle?
waist?
What do you
Ankle?
like?
Can I tape this to your chest? Is that all right?
Do you want it up the beehole? You know what that is?
Do you mind holding
Whoops. Better
the small
sound up there.
microphone?
Do you want to just? Do you want to
While
put
you
it
do
in your
your
beard?
lines?
Bury it in your beard?
Do you mind swallowing this microphone?
It would help. It would
It'll
help
help.
production.
I want to get the sound of
Can
your
you carry the boom
digestive
mic?
juices. Can you learn how to use this boom mic? Take it home with you on the weekend.
Can
Learn
you
how to
hold it
use
just out of frame and
Just
do your
out
own
of frame.
boom?
Yeah, it's a good
would-
arm exercise.
It would help.
Yeah.
I used to feel sorry for those guys with the 40-foot boom
Oh,
for like
Just
20
shaking.
minutes,
On a long take?
shaking like that.
And I'm like, I got another funny idea. And
Yeah.
they're like, motherfucker.
Yeah, keep it rolling. I'm
This
gonna
guy's
go.
triceps are
and then they'll cut, and the guy's like,
lays down in
Yeah.
I gotta
convulsions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got it easy. God damn it.
Oh,
we're
I have a
lucky.
question.
I know,
about,
but don't you?
Yes.
Don't you feel this? You'd be fired from every single job on a movie set except for the ones that we get to do, right?
oh, like a real movie.
That's what I feel like.
Well, I mean, it seems like you were all most of the time working with like-minded spirits and.
No, I mean as an actor, all the other jobs are so much
yeah.
harder than just
Oh yeah, totally.
goofing around.
Right.
Yeah,
I would rather just
Oh, a
goof
real
around
job?
and have someone shoot it than.
I could never do a real job. Is that what you're talking about?
no, wait.
I didn't know.
Doesn't
you,
my question make sense? Yeah. No, I'm just saying between like camera, director,
Yeah.
Well, the-
sound,
I didn't
all
know.
these other jobs.
yeah.
Yeah,
To be an actor, it's like
that's
the
hard.
easiest one.
Well, that's why they all hate us. Because they go look at you and they go, look at you coming in here, tra la la. Oh, do you have to memorize 3 lines?
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm like, give me a minute. And they're like, he's coming. You know, it's all that stuff. And they're all waiting. And then you walk out. Can I get a quick spritz of Final Net? All right, ready.
Final net.
Final net. That goes with
Isn't that
Final
hairspray?
Spinata.
That's what my
and
mom used to
Final
have.
net. Yeah, kid.
Are you? Is that
I-
one of your guys' sponsors? Final net.
Yeah. We have
Hey, our
Drakkar
sponsors
and
are here. I
Final-
think. Show of hands.
Now, when you, I'm
These are
going to
all your
jump around
sponsors?
here. I'm going to jump around
You're
here.
gonna
Wait a
jump
second.
around.
Rapid fire.
Norm was in Jeopardy with you a lot.
Yeah.
Any funny Norm
As
stories or
Burt-
anything about
Burt
Norm?
Reynolds.
Yeah, my God.
Because
that was brilliant.
Hysterical.
Jeopardy again, one of the big sketches that one of
Huge
those
SNL.
big sketches everyone remembers.
Yeah.
Always funny. Daryl
Um,
was funny and Norm was great.
Yeah, the best Norm story was I think it's the one where he comes back, he's wearing a big foam cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's funny, huh? Look, wearing a cowboy hat. And anyway, there's some beat where I have to be super exasperated with him, and I yell at him, and we get out of the sketch, and Norm comes running after, and he's like, "Hey, well, everything okay?" I go, "Yeah, why?" He's like, "You seem kind of mad at me out there." I'm like, "No, Norm, we've done it. This is like the 4th time we've done the sketch." "No, but that time it just seemed like you really were mad at me for some reason." I said, "No, we're good."
That's very Norm right
So
there.
funny.
That's his
Yeah.
sense of humor. Yeah, you seem kind of mad there for a moment, right?
But he was not. I don't think he was doing a bit.
He wasn't doing
He
a
might
bit.
have. He might have been serious that
He
you were
also
screaming.
was very sensitive
He
in
was
that way
very
too.
shaken.
Yeah.
And then
Because you can commit hard, and you probably scared him.
another great Norm story has nothing to do with Trebek. Was, and Catan told me about it. They were on a flight together back LA to New York. Chris had taken off his shoes, and he can't find his shoes. They're about to land, can't find his shoes. He's going to the flight attendant. "Have you seen my shoes? I took them off." It's like, "I don't know." He's like, Catan's like, "Norm, come on. You took my shoes." "No, I didn't. I didn't take your shoes. Why would I take your shoes? It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I would never." He's like, "Come on, give me back my shoes. I know you took them. I know." Norm's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." Catan has to walk through JFK
With no shoes?
with no shoes, just in his
Yeah.
socks. An entire season goes by, and then Catan and Norm are jousting back and forth about something.
They used to joust a little
And
bit.
then Norm finally goes, "Oh yeah, and one other thing, I did take your shoes." That flight in November,
Flight November.
I took them, I threw them in the trash can, just so you know.
Yeah, because I saw the shoes
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
right? And I kind of grabbed the shoes.
So yeah,
you know?
you were right. I took
He used
your
to give
shoes.
Catan so
Yeah.
much shit.
I
Oh
know.
my God, yeah. He was tough. Okay, let's see if we have anything else. Well, before we let you go.
Oh, and the other thing I was thinking about today,
Mhm.
Downey used to give me the great. I loved being
Jim Downey,
Jim Downey,
great writer.
legendary writer, who came up with strategery.
Oh, he did. Strategic.
I had the 18 too writing for me on,
Yeah.
with Al Franken
yeah.
and Jim Downey.
Totally.
Yeah.
But Downey, I loved being in Downey sketches for a number of different reasons. But the best was between dress and air, and he'd do it every single time, and I would laugh hard every single time. He'd go, "Great job. Take it down about 1,000%." And then I would just yes and I'd be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I don't know what happened. You must have gotten into your big juice or something." But he would literally tell me to take it down 1,000%.
Worst advice, yeah.
Did you?
Made me laugh every single
And he
time.
would never say he's joking. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember one time I did a joke on Hollywood Minute about with jokes. They had some had a little more of a. Some were clever, some had a little mean streak. But I did a Jim Carrey one. The funniest part is I liked 99% of the people I'm making
Of course.
fun of. And
Yeah.
Jim Carrey, I was just trying to get foot in the door at SNL and whatever it took. But Jim was doing these, the movies that I loved. But I said, and they would always prod me to go farther.
Right.
Because it was like through them, I dare you.
Yeah.
So I said, "Oh, Jim's Carrey after this, one of his movies was rushed to the hospital after an overdose of overacting pills with play it too big juice," and the crowd just stared at me, and
They're
it was too soon.
Don't
Don't mess with
make
our
fun
fucking
of
guy.
our
Yeah,
hero,
yeah, yeah.
Jim Carrey.
And I was like,
Yeah.
"No, I love And anyway, that was cut after dress, but but dress rehearsal was a good. But that was those guys, and they would write me the roughest
Oh, because they just
Hollywood
want-
Minute jokes
yeah.
at like the rewrite table. They go, Jim would be like, "No, you would never." "Well, no, you're too much of a pussy." And I go, No, I'm not. What? And then he'd tell me, I go, yeah, I'm too much of a pussy. I'm not saying that. He goes, of course, because you're a pussy. And I go, why? But it was all whatever he wanted to say and get the anger out and get to me.
Well, then they hide behind the whole thing.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
That's why it's so
exactly.
funny. They get to say whatever they want, but I would have to sort of temper it. But always funny. I mean, they're just fucking around.
Wait, one last Norm Macdonald story.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Love them.
Do you remember the Mama Celeste frozen pizza commercials?
No,
Yes.
no, I don't.
And it was this, and she would say, Abundanza,
Abundanza, yeah.
which is a made-up marketing word. There's no
I didn't know that.
word in the
Delicious.
Italian
I
language.
thought that
Yeah.
was genuine Italian.
Yeah. And one day we're sitting around in the writer's room having lunch, and we're doing a bit where I'm like, hey guys, this lunch is pretty good. Abundanza, right? And everyone goes, yeah, abundanza. And Norm's sitting there like, Norm, come on, just say it. Say abundanza. Like, no, I'm not going to say it. I'm like, come on, Norm. Just say it. Abundanza. I won't do it. I'm not going to say it. We get like 15 of us like, come on, Norm. It'd be rude now. We've all said abundanza. You should just say abundanza. No, I don't want to say it. I'm not going to say it. I won't say it. He never would say it. Anyway, that's the end of the story. But yeah.
All right. Well, I think
Abundanza.
we were going to have a few people
just like his
ask
voice.
a question.
Hey, a penny saved is a penny earned, they say, right? That's like a 100% return. You can't get that anywhere.
Is that what he said?
I was just talking on the phone with Norm, you know. You should bury some money, right? Because then later on, your relatives will dig it up and they'll have money, right? He just had the driest, funniest
I
vibe.
didn't have a TV the first year I was on the show because I just didn't buy one because I thought I'm never going to be in my apartment. So I'd go and watch the NBC sports feed on like a Sunday.
Right.
Norm, of course, is in there. And Norm enjoyed gambling on sports.
Sure.
And we were watching some game and I'm like, ooh, got to watch out. University of Cincinnati. They're pretty good in the mud. He's like, really? And I go, yeah. I think they're like 750 winning percentage in rainy games. I didn't know that. Yeah, okay.
Logs it away.
I think we're doing a bit.
Right.
Right.
There's no way. How do I know that stuff?
Yeah.
Week later, Norm's like, you cost me 35 grand. I'm like, doing what? What do you mean? Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati in the mud. I'm like, what? You said they were really good in rainy. I'm like, you bet on? I was joking.
And you bet that much?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you telling me that
that's-
amount too?
That's like when Norm asked Lovitz for, give me $200. So they're playing a casino.
that's funny. Okay.
He's like, John's like, okay. So the next day,
No, lend
John, Lend.
Lend.
And he goes,
Yeah.
yeah. And then Lovett's like, can I get my money back? And he goes, no, I lost it. I lost all of it. He goes, why are you mad? I lost $8,000.
Yeah, he goes, you only lost 200.
You only lost 200.
Yeah.
We love Norm. There was only one
Yeah,
Norm.
he
And
was amazing.
A comedy genius. So
All right,
Will
Dana.
Ferrell.
Dana, I think they want to ask a few questions from the audience. Then we'll get
I was
Then we'll
just
get Will
gonna-
to his limo.
I was just going to butter up Will.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to
My
say to
Lincoln
Will,
Town
because he
car.
loves sports,
Yeah.
like if I was going to do a sports team of SNL stars,
Yeah.
I'd put you at the power forward.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And maybe an Aykroyd or
Thank you.
Phil at the center.
Yeah.
Maybe Bill Hader. After that, I never try to pick SNL people because then I go, fuck Adam Sandberg. I miss him. But
Yeah.
I would,
Yeah.
Lauren said that about you.
No.
He's a top two at least.
Top two.
Well, is he possibly one? I'm not going to say, but he's a top two.
three.
Top three.
Top three. Where in that three? I don't know.
We don't know.
I feel like the general consensus is me, Dana, Will. In the history of SNL.
I think
Yeah.
it's Spade,
And sometimes it mixes up.
Dana,
Will, Dana, me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're up there, man. It's lonely, but we're up there.
No. Yeah.
Now, I was sort of an intern there for 6 years.
David
All right.
Spade plays the little engine that could, but
Yeah.
you've had an incredible career. Who did World Missy? 800 million
Wrong,
minutes.
Missy.
Yeah.
800 million
Oh, yeah.
minutes.
That's how it goes now. 6 billion minutes. Everyone's
That's a
like,
hit.
That feels good. I don't know. It sounds like a lot of minutes.
yeah, 6
It's
billion.
the biggest film in Chile.
Oh yeah.
They love you in Uruguay, kid.
I can't step foot in Bulgaria.
Lower Mongolia. You're
All right,
killing it.
go out there. We're gonna ask Will. We'll get 4 questions from the audience, and then Will, you don't even have to answer if you don't want. Just make them feel stupid. All right. Does anyone have a question? And then he'll run out there, and then we got one over there. Let me see. Oh wait, too late. He was over there.
Oh.
Oh no, I'm over here. Hello.
Okay.
Do you guys have a favorite sketch that literally just never made it even past pitch? Like not something that got cut for time or cut from rehearsal, but you pitched it and you thought it was great and it just did not go over.
I had a sketch that that tops my list. I had written a sketch about a guy who looks exactly like Gabe Kaplan from Welcome Back, Kotter, and he's a super, and he works in an insurance. The insurance company he works for. He knows that Gabe Kaplan is a client. And it's the day that Gabe Kaplan came in to renew his insurance coverage, but no one told him. No one told my character that Gabe Kaplan was there. And I was...
How did this not get on?
Are you sure this didn't get on?
It got on. No, it got on a dress.
Oh.
But it was so silent. At one point, there's the smallest laugh in the world. Like kind of in the upper deck there, you just hear, hee. But it died so hard. So that was it. But it worked great at the table. Everyone
I have
thought it was
one
so
quickie, which was a guy. I'm sorry, buddy. He was obsessed with Kurt Cobain after his death, and I worked at Baskin Robbins, and I wouldn't wash my hair. And Bob Odenkirk and I wrote it, and it was Kurt. Every time I was trying to name ice creams after him, and then when people come in, they go, my manager goes, "You got to wash your hair." I go, "No, Kurt and Dirt, you can't wash him away." And then again, crickets. But that was crickets at read through with Odenkirk, who's a great writer, and it was a fully formed sketch, and it just
On
didn't work.
Season 2, we're doing a press conference, and they said, "Do you have any new catchphrases to me?" So I just said, "My new catchphrase is, I got to go." Right? So I wrote a sketch called Funny Little Poopy Head. And I was Mr. Funny Little Poopy Head. Jan Hooks was Miss Fun. And it was
legendary
really,
Jan Hooks.
if it had gotten on, I would have enjoyed it. But
Yeah.
it was just to hear Lorne say Funny Little Poopy Head. So there was so much stage direction. And Lorne Michaels had to say that
Funny
thing
little
like,
poopy head
Funny Little
walks
Poopy
into
Head
the
is
room."
sad.
Yeah.
Funny Little Poopy Head walks across the room. That kind of thing. And then he goes, "I got to go." And then Jan Hooks' hook was, "And I'm going with him." Never made it to
That
air.
would've worked.
Only at the Largo.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, next one, Greg. Anybody? You're
There's
slow
some.
to the.
Oh, Greg's.
Yeah. Hey, you did College Game Day in 2010 with Lee Corso. What was he like?
Is that for me?
I don't think I did.
I don't remember I being in it, so
Was that you?
Oh.
it was a film called College Game
No,
Day. or
College
Game
Game
Day?
Day.
Would that have been outside the Coliseum? Yeah, that would have been outside the Coliseum. Oh, before the SC Oregon game. Yeah.
Oh, easy, Rain Man.
Are you wearing an N95?
Yeah.
Lee Corso was out.
Yeah,
You sold him
definitely
a
outside
car?
the Coliseum. Yeah, of course, I'm an excellent driver.
I don't remember having much interaction with Lee I'm sure he
Yeah.
was nothing but lovely.
What about Lee Van Cleef? Did you ever do anything
What about
with
Lee
Lee Van
Majors?
Cleef?
All
Lee
right.
Van Cleef and I.
Can we
That
just
guy
ask
was
this
awesome.
guy? This young man, you've had your hand up for so long. Go ahead.
I think for the
Oh, here he
podcast,
is.
yeah.
Thank you. Hi, Will, Dana. You guys were part of a video where you played the Bushes.
Oh, all the presidents.
For all the presidents for Ron Howard. Do you guys have any stories about that? And David, will there be a sequel to that movie?
Don't make up a question for me. You love these two.
He's huge and chilly.
And David, are you taking an Uber home?
First
What
of
are
all,
you
that was with Funny or Die. For Funny or Die.
That was for Funny or Die about passing legislation.
Yeah, some legislation. And I remember we just did our characters one at a time.
We had everyone who'd played a president on SNL.
Yeah. We even had Dan Aykroyd do Bob Dole, I think. Or I know he was there.
Bob Dole.
Aykroyd.
Or was it Norm?
Aykroyd did Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy Carter?
Jimmy Carter?
Oh, yeah, probably Jimmy Carter.
Oh, did you do Nixon?
Oh, God, he did a lot. Yeah. I'll just do all
Chevy,
that.
Chevy did Ford.
Chevy did Ford.
Fred did Obama.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
It carried you the wrong way, huh? I just remember when I was doing something and you said you liked it afterwards. I was just ad-libbing as George Bush Sr. and the phrase came out, he went full fecal. I don't remember what it meant, but I remember he came out after him, like the full fecal part. You just remember things. And
Full fecal.
Full
Full
fecal.
fecal.
Gotta do it. Fecalcation.
Yeah.
I'm getting more relaxed all the time.
I know.
Yeah.
We're finally relaxed. We got one more question. All right.
Hey, this is for Will. Whenever you were on SNL, you would often go on Conan as different characters. You would never come on as yourself.
Yes.
Was Conan aware of this? Because I feel like he was not in on the bit, and he was often surprised when you would do this.
No, he was just very good at acting and playing along because
Did you ever try to surprise him with anything?
I forget.
But then you would ad-lib and stuff.
Yeah,
you go way off.
It might have been because Conan and that whole staff, they were so into please do
Weirdness.
whatever you want. Yeah. Yeah. That was like the greatest show to go on, that early Conan, because they were just embrace any sort of bit. It was like, I have an idea where I want to get in a drum off with a kid drummer and he's going to be much better than I am. And then I'm going to chase him out of the stage, and they're like, yep, let's do it. Okay, I have another bit where can you set up a pull-up bar, and I want to do a setup where I'm going to do as many pull-ups as I can do, and I'll give $10,000 to charity, and I can't even get one pull-up.
For every pull-up, you get
every pull-up I'll
funny.
give, and I just struggle. Like 15 seconds.
You're like,
and
I did 30 yesterday. What's wrong?
I can't get one. Oh, well, too bad, March of Dimes, or whatever. But no, they would go for everything. And
it seems like you always had a gear where a lot of your stuff, if the sound broke, I call it funny with the sound off, it would still work, Just because like the cowbell guy, just the way you were dancing around, like it, just all that. And walking was good in that too, right?
Oh, my God. Yeah,
Do people know? Is this true that you tried it out with different hosts and it never got on until Walken came around?
I tried it. Well, it's funny. It was the season before was Norm's last season because you guys were talking about it with Downey, the whole Norm getting fired, and then strangely enough, he comes back the next year to host.
Oh yeah, and he
which
said
was
they
bizarre.
fired me.
Yeah.
But I tried it at the table with Norm as the record producer.
Yeah.
And it worked fine, but it just didn't get it picked. And then I brought it back later going, oh no, I'm going to rewrite this for Walken.
It's hard to do it twice.
It's hard. Yeah.
I was there that night. I was doing
Dana
I was doing a guest spot of something.
Oh, okay.
And I remember that destroying and
we were way over.
And Will, where were you? I was about to say you weren't dead center.
No, it was way in the
corner,
the dead corner there.
Fuck, people don't know that's the
do you
worst.
remember what was the?
Audience
I mean,
can't
how
see.
did that come out? Just suddenly, because it's such a bizarre, incredibly inexplicable idea. That's why it's just as funny now. You could watch it 20 years later.
You
I
look
just
funny.
remember-
It's a weird song.
Yeah, listening to Blue Oyster Cult on the radio.
Yeah, it was just that
hearing
cowbell.
that faint cowboy going. Does that guy have any friends? Was that the only song he ever got to play cowbell on?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm gonna write that as a sketch. It's not nothing you can pitch.
Yeah.
And so I write it, and I rewrote it for Walken.
God,
and I was just like, oh, I know that if Christopher Walken says, I have a fever,
Yeah.
and the only prescription is more cowbell, only he can get
By
a
the
laugh
way,
off of that.
You can't lose because the stiffer he does it, the more he's married to the cue cards. I have a fever.
Yeah.
And you're like you're like phonetically almost getting through it. And it's so fucking funny.
And I remember
Is Kevin Pollak here? Could you do Christopher Walken? I think is he here?
Oh, is he here?
No.
Oh, Kevin
So
Pollak,
this is the world's greatest Christopher Walken
Yes.
impressionist.
Oh, shit.
I have a fever. Prescription is more cowbell.
Kevin Pollak.
You.
Kevin Pollak.
That's amazing. Kevin Pollak
happened to be here.
But you would say to Walken, you go, hey, Chris, you're just killing it. You're so funny and everything. And he'd be like, we should have Kevin do it. Really? Because I
Gone to the party. Yeah.
I have no idea. I just say the lines.
He doesn't even get the sketch.
And I was like, well, you're doing great. If you say so. Okay. Like I got in trouble for complimenting him. Yeah.
For cowbell. I'm just doing Kevin now, but yeah, there was something magic about that thing. Anyway, that was something special. That's all
I like
got.
those ones that live on forever. Those are great.
Yeah. So Will Ferrell,
Lucky.
you are one of the all-time, and you're still
Thank
going
you.
strong. I don't know what you're doing next, but I was going to ask you, what's the longest break you've had in the last 25 years from doing show business? It seems like did you have 6 months off at one time?
Oh, sure.
So you take breaks. And what do you do during your breaks? You ran 3 marathons.
Long time ago.
That was just a passion?
Yeah, just wanted to run. I retired in 2003. And
Lauren wouldn't take you back.
Right.
Are your kids all taller than me yet?
Oh, they're my 13-year.
I'm like joking.
My 13-year
Don't
will
answer that.
dominate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know kids are 11 when they're taller than me. I'm like,
I
oh.
just
You just hang out, right?
I'm Uber driver for my kid. You know, I have a sophomore in high school, go to his
That's
basketball
kind of
games.
fun when
I
they're
just
like
love it. Yeah.
10, 11, 12, and
Yep.
you're driving them to school, and I play a day in the life for them.
Right.
You know, and they play me hip hop and stuff. It was a fair exchange. But it's a lot of fun and cool bonding, because I was noticing my kids weren't talking to me in the car at a given age when I'm driving them to school. And then I would put on AM news radio, and a man was killed today and shot, blood was flying. And they're like, Dad, what was that? What's going on? So that really would open them up. But you must have had experiences like that. Maybe it was, but truly, you must have made them fans.
We've made a concerted effort to just take the whole summer off, no matter what I'm working on. So we go.
I did that too.
We go to Sweden, of all places, every summer. So my wife's Swedish. We have a place out there. The boys all speak Swedish. They hang out with their cousins.
God, that's too cool. So they're just bonded with Sweden.
Yeah.
That's hip.
Yeah.
Isn't most of life just, I feel like even really busy people, most of life is hanging out and talking kind
Absolutely.
of. I mean, isn't that what we do most of the time?
Yeah.
I mean, we work and stuff, but
we just
you're
did
just
it.
trying to watch something on TV with your wife. I mean, do you watch live
the
streaming
simple
shows?
pleasures.
Yeah. Do you watch
I'm watching,
All Creatures Great and Small? If you want liquid Xanax, this is this brilliant show that's just
But
is so
I
1940.
thought the Beatles documentary was that too, in a way.
Oh my God.
we talk about that so much.
Get Back.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Well, it's nice of you to say that. I do. I'm a bit older now. We appreciate that you like it. But we were just lads plunking.
I don't know who that is. Is that Billy Preston?
It's Billy Idol. Did you meet McCartney, Will, when you were on SNL?
Did what?
Did you see McCartney? Was he on when you were on?
I don't know if he was.
I think he was 93,
He
right?
was on, I know, when I was there with...
He must have been. I know Mick Jagger.
Oh.
Jimmy did that Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger?
Oh, I came in Lauren's office. This happened to you at Saturday Night Live
Yeah.
once. Lauren's office in 8H just during the, and I just walked in and no one told me. And then just Mick Jagger's just sitting there with a little sweater and corduroy pants on and combed hair, you know.
Lauren likes to blindside you with a big star.
Yeah. He likes to collect china in different coffee cups.
Tell him about your stamp collection, Mick.
He's very, what you would call erudite.
The dinner where Lauren tried to convince me to stay longer.
Yeah.
Who was there?
He kept saying, Mick may stop by. And I'm like, okay.
That's what I tell people, but he never stops by.
All right. And we keep talking. He's like, so Mick, you know, he could, because they produced some movie together.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, fine. Okay. And then all of a sudden, Lauren's eyes go wide. He's like, he's here. He's here. Okay. You sit there, and I'll no. I'll sit here. I'll sit here. I'll sit like this, and you sit over there. No. You sit. Hi, Mick. Hello. Hi. Yes. And I sat.
He wants your seat. Move.
Yeah, move.
Well, did you
Don't
always,
be an idiot.
Did you always have to guess when he said Paul? Because there were two Pauls, Paul Simon, Paul
Right.
McCartney.
Yeah.
Paul's coming over. Which one?
And so
that'd be McCartney.
I sat there awkwardly for 45 more minutes.
Waiting?
With Mick
with
Mick
Mick Jagger.
showed up. And I didn't know what to say. Once again, I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
And then the next day at rehearsal, Lauren was like, wasn't that the greatest dinner? And
Wow.
I think he was just excited that he said a celebrity was going to show
Yeah.
up, and they actually showed up.
What was your most starstruck moment? You know, I for me, like meeting Charlton Heston was a big deal. You know, like, whoa. You know, because you meet these hosts and they're sitting down there and then they go, would you like to go say hello to Robert Mitchum? Sure. You know, it's like you're walking down the hall.
Marcy would come in. Get in there, Sharon Stone. No one's in there. I'm like, okay. And then you go in
She's
there.
alone. She needs help. That's Marcy
She's
Klein.
reading a magazine. She's like, what? I'm like, I'm supposed to, I don't know. You know what I mean? You know, Marcy.
They
Sharon
did that
in
to
there.
me with George W. They called
they had
me.
him.
He was in the studio because they were going to tape one of those election specials, and they had Gore do his part,
Yes.
clear the studio. Then they bring W in there, and they call me at home. They're like, "Get down here. W's a huge fan. Wants to meet you." And I just started doing the impression, and I was like, "Okay, okay." I go down to 8H. There's 100 reporters, everything,
Yeah.
and it was like Ayala and Marcy, like.
Oh, yeah.
Go up there. Just go and talk to him. And I'm like,
Even the cue card guy's going,
Hi.
look, get up there.
Wally.
hi, I'm Will. I could tell he has no idea that I'm the guy who plays
biggest
him.
fan.
Because you hadn't done it during the debates.
Exactly.
Right? Okay.
We hadn't even
So it was fledgling.
It was fledgling. And then he doesn't know me from Adam. He could care less.
Yeah.
And
You got
we
bamboozled.
both just did this to each other.
You did Roxbury?
How did you?
Yeah, we did Roxbury.
Did you awkwardly
Did
say
you listen to
Abundanza?
tapes?
I go, thanks so much for doing this. Yeah. This is, you got a lot, is this a hectic work week for you? I was like, yeah, it's a busy week. Like, yeah. Seems like a lot. Yeah. But you could tell he was stressed
Yeah.
to be there. It was just like,
And Al Gore
why-
was there too,
and
right?
Al Gore was there
just yeah.
and commanding the room.
Oh, yeah.
He seemed
We're going to put it in a logbook.
so. He was like totally
Yeah.
presidential.
And W
then-
was,
But then when they debated, it flipped. Yeah.
well, W, yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah.
But how did
Yeah.
you, did you have to study tapes or you just kind of got it just by watching him?
Watching Daryl
And
Hammond
tightening
helped me a little
the-
bit.
Tightening the neck, right?
That and
Squinting
the
a little bit.
eyes squinting. Yeah.
But you did
Yeah.
kind of look like him when you
It
got the
kinda
whole
looked- but-
gear on.
But I think it got better over time. But at first, it was
Same
not,
with me.
It
I
wasn't
didn't
that
have
great.
Bush
but-
Senior
yeah.
at all. Only
Yeah.
Ross Perot was quick because it
Yeah.
was such a cartoon right away. Can I finish one time? Can I finish one time? Can I finish one time? That's all it needed. Just that.
One
Just
of
James,
the
he's
great-
basically James Brown. Can I
One of
do
the
it on the one?
Great political.
Can I do it on the one?
Yeah.
Get on up like a sex machine.
And then-
Sorry. It's just shtick.
Phil Hartman playing Admiral. What's his face?
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
Oh,
Who was that guy?
Uh,
Which one? No,
Stockdale, is that it?
Stockdale.
And he couldn't hear out of one ear. there?
Perot was
That poor guy.
driving
Oh,
him.
you guys did the driving sketch.
Yeah, and then why don't you take a walk over there? And then
he's just going,
yeah, who am I? Who am I? Where am I? He was doing Scottsdale. Was confused. Politics is fun.
all right.
All right, we got to let Will go. We should let Will go,
We
right?
do. He wants to go on.
What do you want to do?
All right, can we do 3
think
questions? Favorite toy as a kid? Don't think too hard.
Probably Legos.
Legos?
Yeah.
Wrong.
Because his was Stretch
Or
Armstrong.
Micronauts.
Did you have a
Micronauts.
Did you have a
Micronauts.
bicycle that you really liked?
Yeah, Schwinn.
Schwinn Stingray?
Schwinn, Stingray.
What was the
Banana yellow.
TV show or movie? When
Why is that funny?
Because I think he said, then you said, yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one. Well, the Schwinn was famous.
was
Some
still-
people
I
had
think there was
some
only
weird
one
ones.
bike when
I
I
had
was
a
a kid.
Sears front loader. My parents ran out of
Banana
money.
seat. Yeah.
So
You had a washing
you're a little
machine?
kid. You're like 8, 10, 11, and there's a TV show or a cartoon or a movie that just made you love show business or just blew your mind. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller said it was the Poseidon Adventure. Like
Wow.
that made him want to be a filmmaker.
That was a cool movie.
Gene Hackman.
Well, I always loved Shelley Winters.
Yeah.
she sure had a figure.
Yeah, I would say Poseidon Adventure too.
Yeah.
Gene Hackman is
Yeah.
unbelievable.
He was great.
It's up there.
Favorite-
That's how we'll live. Up there.
1 inch thinner.
I'll
Tried, Kevin.
I'll remember the real answer driving home
Yeah.
after this. But the one thing
I saw
love-
Jason the Argonauts. It could be, I saw those, and Wild Wild West was kind
Land
of
of the
my
Lost.
age
You
group.
like Land of the Lost.
Land of the Lost, I loved. But that didn't make me want to go into showbiz.
Little House on the Prairie.
make you wanna
Can I
get
That
get
made
lost?
me want to go into no.
No. What made you want to?
Well, I loved.
We're not leaving.
God,
No, we went past a two-parter to a three-parter.
The
Yeah.
pressure's building.
It's a 9-parter.
Okay, these are the shows I loved. I loved Happy Days,
Yes.
Laverne and Shirley.
Yep.
That block on
Yes.
Tuesday nights.
Yeah, Tuesday night.
By the way,
And then I loved Saturday night was Fantasy Island Love Boat.
Shit.
And
Me too.
God.
Me too.
see, those are so relaxing. We need shows
Yeah.
like that.
but I wanted to live on the Love Boat. I wanted to be
Everyone's
'cause it was
happy.
calm and
always
fun.
calm, fun guests every week.
And
yeah.
Julie, the coked up cruise
Yeah.
director,
Yep.
she was great. Yeah, I
Gavin
watched that same
McLeod.
block. Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah.
Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley. Fonzie literally jumped the shark. I remember watching that. I made my mom watch it with us. I was like, watch.
Isn't it funny to think that Henry Winkler, he was the coolest guy in America
Unreal.
at that
Yeah.
point in time.
Couldn't believe it. It was so cool. Yeah.
Playing
And the toughest guy. I knew people thought he could
Yeah.
beat up anyone. Well, the Fonz could beat up
He
anybody.
never really got in a fight, to be honest. It was
No,
like,
he just he was
he'd
all.
snap his fingers and they'd run or
I
something.
he
want.
could
I don't want
never
to
say
date
he was
myself,
sorry.
but mine was Danny Kaye. Sorry.
He never could say he was sorry, right?
Was that was his thing?
Fonz. Yeah. He
Oh,
was
I thought he
too-
couldn't say. Yeah, he couldn't say something. Maybe I love
Something.
you. Maybe sorry.
Let's call Hank Winkler.
I don't know.
He's great in Barry.
You know what? Let's look at a clip.
Hey,
No clips?
What are you gonna do over
You almost
here?
got it. Bifida. You just got a little touch of bifida.
I did.
Yeah.
Full spinal bifida. That's what we're going to name this episode.
Yeah.
That's going to be in the.
It's like not funny. I don't know why we keep saying it.
I know.
Hey, let me take
cool
it down. Take it down as Denny Miller. Okay, Christ's sakes, we heard from the Spud Man with the spinal
Spudley.
bifida, raspberries, and the sound effects
Well,
guy's face.
Will's
Feral
going to give
laid
us
down.
both a ride home.
The feral cat brought it heavy today.
Yeah, you did bring it, man. You're funny as
My
shit.
Lincoln Town car is waiting for me.
Yeah.
I always request a Lincoln Town,
Yeah,
late
for sure.
model Lincoln
Did you-
Town car.
Did you buy something when you first got $1 million? You buy
Yeah.
a crazy car or anything?
I bought a
Something from the Elvis
Elvis
store?
set list.
I was thinking, sorry, I'm going to jump.
I don't want to be the joke of the thing.
It's all good fun, Davey.
Okay.
I bought one of Elvis's guns, and I looked at the provenance, and it realized Spade was the previous owner.
By the way, when he worked there, you were very polite. You're very nice. I don't think you said you were in comedy at all. I don't think you told
No.
me that. But
In fact, I still worked. I got hired at SNL, but they don't pay you till you show up. I had bills to pay. I was still answering the phones for like a month and a half.
did you have it transferred to your
Answering
office?
the phones at where?
Here in LA.
Oh, okay.
At the art auction house. And my coworkers were like, didn't you get on Saturday Night Live? I was like, yeah, but I don't leave till August, so
Yeah.
I'm here.
And they don't pay you anything.
Gotta-
I read it said you were the highest paid cast member ever. Is that true?
I don't think so.
They
Were
said
you?
it was, but what was your starting salary? Like when you first got on, do you remember? Because there's
Per show. It was a per show.
Yeah. I'm guessing 6,000.
It was something like that.
Okay.
It was 55 or 6.
Yeah.
4,500 times 20, 90 grand. Keep 30, broke even.
Easily.
Star Saturday Night Live, breaking
900.
even, man.
Yeah.
I mean, 900 a week to write, 1,500 to bump if I got on Update or something.
Yeah.
And
But the
didn't
male
get-
prostitution paid the bills.
Yeah.
I ran a glory hole on 18.
Oh, we don't want to go on that specific. It was just you were a friendly guy. You were a gentleman.
I never got that reference because they'd be if your
if you
sketch
understood
ever
it.
scored, they'd be like, that was a real glory hole. I'd be like, what does that mean? Like, never mind. Ask Spade.
All
All right, we're going to take a break
yeah.
and come
Yep.
back with our guest today, Will Phineas.
Second half will be better. Second
yeah,
half of the show.
second half of the show. Let's give everyone a
Second
5.
half will be
and then
better.
Yeah, take 5.
See who stays.
I'm going to talk with a Swedish accent. The rest. Is this offensive, this accent?
That is really authentic.
I'm
Yeah.
Is the
I'm
Swedish
a
chef
lot Norwegian.
getting
we
laid
don't like
in
the
Sweden?
Swedes.
I know. That's a bad rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
Will,
Yeah.
is the Swedish chef get a lot of poontang in Sweden? Be honest.
The Muppet character?
Yeah. Who else? Hernda, Shernda, Skernda.
Skirna with
You watched the Muppet Show, didn't you?
with the human hand.
Yeah. That guy was talented. I knew that when I watched.
That guy was talented.
He could cook,
Yeah.
and he had a
That
presence.
made you want to be in show business. That character.
That's the thing.
God, that's your answer. We were
Sesame
trying to help
Street.
you.
Sesame Street.
Yeah.
All right.
Good
well,
Lord.
they're turning the lights off.
Okay.
Okay. You guys, thank you, Will.
Thank you
Ferrell.
so
Thank
much
you,
for
audience.
hanging with us. A
Thank
great
you.
audience. The great Will Ferrell. Thank you very much.
This has been a podcast presentation of Cadence 13. Please listen, then rate, review, and follow all episodes. Available now for free wherever you get your podcast.
No joke, folks. Fly on the Wall has been a presentation of Cadence 13, executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Chris Corcoran of Cadence 13, and Charlie Finan of Brillstein Entertainment.
The show's lead producer is Greg Holtzman with production and engineering support from Serena Regan and Chris Basil of Cadence 13.